Jacksonville. So why should you choose Tulsa Welding School of Jacksonville? Well, number one, we have been doing this training a very long time, since 1949. We offer legendary focused training and curriculum built on industry demand. You're going to learn the skills that's needed to make you marketable to the actual industry. We are the largest welding school in the country. You're going to learn a diversity of different welding skill sets, MIG, TIG, flux core, etc. The training is short. You can complete your training in as little as 7 months. Over 66,000 square foot classroom, lab, and support service area. Huge shop out there. The school is accredited through ACCSC, which stands for the Accrediting Commission of Career Schools and Colleges. And our vision is to be recognized as the highest quality provider of career education, resulting in an outstanding return on investment for our students. All right, so some of those departments that we have here to support you during this journey, during this process. One department is called Student Services. What they offer is in-school advising and assistance. That covers a wide range of things from ride share, assistance with finding jobs, roommates, housing assistance. They're here to help you complete this goal. Transcripts and grades, attendance tracking and monitoring, and instructors that care. We care about your success. We want you to have a successful future. Another department here that's vital at the school is the Career Services Department. They do a number of things to assist to make sure that at the end of this journey, you're able to transition into the workforce. Resume building and enhancement. That's a scary subject for a lot of people. So you have the support and someone here to help you format your resume so that you're able to get employed. Interview training, so you know what to expect during that process. Full-time career assistance, part-time job assistance. Our current graduate employment rate is 84%. You're going to also meet with the personal career service advisor that partners with you to discuss all upcoming job opportunities. Another very vital department is financial services or financial aid. They help you apply for financial aid, including Pell Grants and Stafford loans to see what you may be eligible for. Jacksonville also has additional options to help make your education affordable. We also have low monthly investments in your future where you can make low monthly payments if that's necessary. Multiple scholarships available for those who qualify, and we create a personalized plan for you based on what you qualify for. Another vital department is the education department. These are our instructors. These are the guys and gals that's going to be teaching you your welding skill set. So when you combine their years of experience and work out there in the field, our instructors have over 365 years of combined experience. Our average student to teacher ratio is about 30-1. Tutoring is available at no additional charge, and graduates can refresh their training in any previously completed course as long as you're in good standing. That's an amazing resource for life. Come back and get the help that you need. We've trained over 5,500 graduates in the welding industry since 2001. This is a hands-on learning environment. Welding is a hands-on trade. So we have a theory called crawl, walk, run theory of training. We tell you how to do it, we show you how to do it, and then you're able to hands-on complete this task, weld, and do it over and over and over again while your instructors help and critique you until you get it right. 5 hours a day, that's how long your classes are. 4 days you're in the shop, 1 day of lecture. The programs we offer. The professional welding program is 7 months long. The average income based on the Bureau of Labor Statistics in the Jacksonville area, roughly about $42,030. The hourly breaks out to about $20.21 per hour. That's based on the Bureau of Labor Statistics for the Jacksonville area. The graduates acquire many skills and can branch off into various career and employment opportunities. So this coursework includes the introduction to welding. You're going to learn pipe welding and have many different career preparation skill sets. A lot of different career opportunities is weld, pipeline welding, structural welding, and thin alloy welding. Once we're done with this presentation and you go out there in the shop area, You're going to be able to sit down with a admissions rep that'll go over the details, tuition, and exactly what's included with the tuition of the course. So the total tuition is $20,983. That breaks out with the tuition portion being $17,857. The registration fee is $50. The lab fees are $1,818. Course materials and textbooks, $246. The gear package is $760. Accident insurance, $252. We also have a program called pipe fitting that is an add-on course. So with the welding and the pipe fitting combined, the total tuition is $24,036, which includes everything I mentioned before. If you're in the military, we also have special military tuition pricing for people that are eligible for that, where we also offer a discounted tuition because of your service to our country. Thank you for your service. So what will you need? We keep it simple here at Tulsa. Are you going to need to bring to school or jeans or work pants, boots, and your eyeglasses? Rolling tool chest is optional because your service does come with a lot of tools and equipment. Things that's included with the tuition is your accident insurance, your books, your grinder, your lab fees, your leather gloves, your jacket, your hood, hat, safety equipment, and your materials. That comes with the tuition. You don't have to buy any of those things. Graduation and beyond, that's the fun time. You've now completed your training, graduation ceremony, and now it's time to start working in welding. Who will be at your ceremony? Who's going to be proud of you? Who's going to see you go across that stage? Another resource we offer is lifetime graduate employment assistance. You'll be a lifetime alumni of this Jacksonville campus, and you can always come back and refresh your courses. If you have any questions, we have a team of people on standby for you right now. So if you have any questions or concerns about financial aid, about the job employment assistance, program specifics, and we'll set you up to get the tour. Thank you all so much for your attention, and I hope you enjoyed learning more about Tulsa Welding School.
Walking the cup. So what I've done is I've already cleaned up a 5-inch pipe, and we're just going to show you some walking the cup on the outside of a piece of pipe. And so let's take this is your Tig Rig. Tig Rig. I'm going to fire. Our arc is going to come out of our tungsten here, and on your tungsten you want to keep it nice and sharp. But our arc's going to come out of here, and we're going to walk the cup. Okay, what that means is we're basically going to roll this cup back and forth across the pipe while we're melting our TIG wire here. We got a 70S wire here, and so what I'm doing is I'm going to walk it back and forth, rolling it back and forth, and we're going to put a nice little bead down across this piece of pipe for you here. And I'm going to show this to you today. So watch me as we do this video. Okay, well also we got our amperage set up on about 140 amps. We're going to run a 1/8 TIG wire, and let's get started. Get around so y'all can see it. Here we go. Everybody ready? What you want to do is you want to get your hot spot rocking it back and forth. Okay, then we're going to slide our wire down in here. We're going to spread the pull to the width that we're looking for. And we're just going to take our time. We're just going to roll it back and forth. And when you're doing this, you want to keep that tungsten nice and close to the puddle. And just take your time, okay? This is not a race. It's not something that you want to try to race through. Just take your time. Keep a nice tight arc length. And just roll it back and forth. Okay, just take time, take practice. You want to try to keep it the same width as you're doing it, back and forth, same spot, so the same width. Okay. You got your nice little bead on there. Okay. Let's tell you, where can you use this process at? This process can be used basically all over the world. A lot of people use it on race cars. A lot of people use it in definitely on pipe, industrial piping. You know, like I say, aerospace welding. TIG is used all over the world, and like I say, it's a very good skill to have. And so, like I say, this is just one of the demonstrations today that we'll be running, and we'll be running some more here shortly. Okay? Thank you. Come on over, guys. You ever seen any TIG welding done before? Yep. You've ever TIG welded before? Yeah. You like TIG welding? Yep. What brings you to our school today? Open house, yeah. Are you signed up to come here? Or you just wanted to come check it out? Oh, okay. When you starting? Oh, okay. Good. Excellent. So you'll be in here in just very soon. Not too long. Yep. So you want me to run some demonstrations for you, or you want to, what do you want me to do? You want a route? I don't have a route set up, but I could get one set up for you if you want to come back in a little bit. I have to prep one up. I don't have one set up right this second, but I'll do some walk in the cup for you. Yeah, you grab a hood right here, and I'll show you a little walk in the cup. Okay. So what you want to do is you always want to make sure you use a clean end of the wire. Okay, so this end's all been used, so I've already cut this end. I always use a clean end, and we're just going to overlap these beads right here side by side. All right. This is a 1/8. Yep. And we're running about 140 amps. All right. So what you want to do is you want to get it, turn your gas on, get down here and get set up to where you like it. And what we'll do is we'll fire up, get a little hot spot first, and then we'll go on with our weld. Here we go. So get your little hot spot there. Bring in our wire. And here's where you want to spread it to the width that you're looking for. So once you get it to the width where you're looking for, then you just take your time, rolling it back and forth.
7 years?
Oh.
I got asked to go there too. They ain't paying salary though. 6 days a week, $25 an hour. That's what they offered me. I said no, not for 6 days. And no per diem, because like you work at their.
What do you think? Yeah, it's not too bad, huh? Got some nice little skin going on there. And this is our TIG welding. We showed this in our program here. You'll learn how to walk the cup when you get to phase 120 in our program. We do show how to freehand, yeah. Yeah, we do freehand as well. We mostly want to show you walking the cup, but yeah, we show freehand in here as well. Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. You'll weld on 2-inch pipe here. We got schedule 120. We got schedule 160. You know, we'll show you all different things. We have many different jigs set up to where we can do it. You know, restricted and non-restricted. So I mean, we have lots of different setups. Yep. Maybe. Mhm. Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool, man. Yeah. So, like I say, we're glad to have you. I think you're going to enjoy our program. Like I say, we have 238 booths here. We got a whole bunch of instructors we probably have close to 300 years of welding experience on the shop floor. So, we got guys and ladies that have been all over the world and done it all. You know what I mean? Yep. So, we'll be glad to have you and show you all the skills and techniques and tricks that we got in our book. Yeah, man. Glad you came in today. If you want to stop over one of these guys here, we'll give you another demonstration.
All right, come on over. I'll show you some stick welding. 7018. We're using an 1/8" rod.
Yeah, man.
We've got a 60.
Still can do it. So I can still do it.
We've got a 332 still. When you come to here,
Yeah, we're something. Hello, my name is Jack Dolez, Director of Training at Tulsa Welding School in Jacksonville, Florida, and today I'm going to walk you through how to repair a weld. So I've went ahead and set one up. We have a 5G where we had put a TIG root in and hot pass in, but we were running the fill and we blew a hole with a 7018. So what do? Well, look, it's not the end of the world, okay? One thing is, you know how to weld. So this is the way we can fix it. So I'm going to walk you through how to repair this weld today, okay? So as you can see on our pipe here, we had a nice little root in there and hot pass. We're running the 7018 up there, then boom, it pops a hole. And it's not uncommon. It happens quite a bit actually around that, 4 o'clock and 8 o'clock on the pipes. You know, there's times in there where there's a little too much heat or you don't have quite enough root penetration and boom, next thing you know, you popped a hole in it. So what do you do? How do you fix it? And what we're going to do is I'm going to take my grinder. I'm going to grind this part down right here. I'm going to clean this up, get all the 7018 out of the way here. I'm going to come over on this side of the TIG. I'm going to make me a nice little boat ramp in there. I'm going to clean all this stuff up real good with the grinder, and then we'll come back and we'll actually put our TIG process back in. So follow along, watch what I do here. I'll grind it all and we'll talk about it in a minute. So I'm going to get my grinder out and we're going to clean up this 7018. Okay, we went back and cleaned it all up. As you can see here, I've ground down where the 7018 was. I've gotten it back to where the TIG portion was in there, and ground down out in front of me. Got all of it out, got all the 7018 out, cleaned it all up, got it all nice and shiny, opened up my bevels a little bit in there. You just don't want to grind straight down and create a big gouge right down in the middle. That's not what you want to do. You want to open it up. As you can see, I've laid it back open. I've got my bevels back. Yes, it's thin right here. You are going to have to pay attention whenever you're putting your TIG root back in, because if not, it's going to want to rip open even bigger and make a mess. A lot of times, the hole gets a little bit bigger and you're going to have to feed the wire in and keep this keyhole and keep the hole under control so it doesn't rip open and make a bigger hole. So, like I say, take your time on the grinding, pay attention. Like I say, don't grind straight down, grind in, open it up, put it back as bevels again, so you can get a nice little root pass in there. So we're going to switch everything back over to the TIG process. We get all my TIG set up, and then we'll come back and actually put the root back in. Okay? Okay, we're back. We're back. As you can see, I've went ahead and, like I said, we've already talked about the grinding and cleaning it all up. I switched over to the TIG process again. So now what we're going to do is we're going to come back and we're going to put our TIG root in, then our hot pass in, then we'll come back over it with a 7018 and fill it and cap it like it should have been done. So let's close up this hole. So like I say, one thing you need to watch out for, it's very thin right there in that spot, so it's going to want to rip open. So you probably need to turn your amperage down a little bit. You're also probably going to have to feed the wire in there a little bit. So be prepared, be paying attention, watch out for these things as you go to put your fill your root back in. All right. I'll freehand it so where you can just see it. You can freehand it, you can walk the cup, whatever you want to do, but I'll freehand it here just where you can try to see a little bit better so I can stay out of the way. All right, everybody ready? All right. So we went ahead and put our root back in, close that baby right on up, not a problem. Simple, easy enough. And I'm gonna go back over and put my hot pass over it real quick, just so we got enough metal to where we don't blow a hole again. And so let's do this again, one more time, put a hot pass over it. I'll freehand it here where you can see it, and then we'll kind of clean it up a little bit with the grinder and go back to 7018. So let's put our hot pass in, all right? Get a little hot spot there. That way I can take the metal.
Oh, spot that I've created. So I'm just going to reduce my speed a little bit, let this rod burn up. I've got plenty of rod to put in here. As long as I don't rush the process, this will be a nice, good looking bead. And just watch that puddle, that little orange ball behind me. That's my puddle. That's my weld.
We're all like 20 years older than you. Yeah.
Let's just go.
Sir?
There we go. That's half the project complete right there. So at this time, I like to tell my students is, you know, break this thing off, take it to the corn tank over there, put it in the water, get that off. Because you could feel, I mean, probably just from standing there, how much heat is coming off of this, right? Now, heat's good with welding, but too much heat could be bad, right? Because that will give you too much fusion. It could melt away material that you don't want to melt away. It can make the electrode burn up a little faster, make the puddle a little more uncontrollable. So going and putting this thing in the water and getting all that scorch heat off the plate, and it's going to make you want to look at it and say, oh wow, yeah, it is right there in the center of the fillet. It's a little too low or a little too high. I got this, so you can gauge 3 beads, which would just be these 3 on the back right here. Pretty cool, right? All right, man. Let's go see some high frequency. Hey, Case, you ready?
Lighter gas in that air that we use helium
Right.
with the high CFH.
You're right.
High getting current. All right, I got it maxed all the way out, and we got our foot pedal here. So I'm going to be controlling the puddle with the foot pedal. That's the easiest way to do it. Now it is loud, it does crackle, but the good thing with aluminum is, welding it with TIG, it's a self-clean. So as you see, whenever I go to arc up, you'll actually see it kind of like spider web around the area where I'm about to be welding, and that's the self-cleaning process that aluminum has. All right. All right, here we go. See how it's cleaning the metal? All right, now we wait for our puddle to form. Now as we get towards the end of the plate, we that pedal just a bit
in just 7 months.
towards the end. But yeah, this process is mostly used in like fabrication, things of that sort, like aerospace, things of that, like that. A lot of race cars too, mostly like I guess the food industry as well. You know, such a clean weld. I'm gonna run one more right next to this, that way you can see a good overlapping bead. Now you don't want it to get too hot, because then it'll penetrate the back side of the plate, which I can show you what it looks like after this pass here. Came out pretty good. It was a little warm at the start there, but now if I was to say floor it, you'll see. Put that hood up one more time and you'll see it actually burn through the backside. That's what you don't want to happen. So that's why a foot pedal is nice. And usually if you don't have a foot pedal, you also have a hand remote, which I don't really care for. The hand remotes, they're big and bulky, they get in the way, don't care for them too much. But yeah, man, that's really all there is to it. And this is the process you would learn in the final phase of the program. You learn this and also high frequency stainless. So stainless is pretty fun. The beads are very, very tiny compared to the aluminum one. But yeah, man, I hope you enjoyed that. When do you start? Nice. All right, man. See you then.
These guys, while they're doing that, have y'all ever done any TIG welding?
My name's Alex.
You have done some TIG welding?
I'm an instructor here at
your
Tulsa
high school or
Weld School.
something?
I currently teach phase
right.
1,
Well,
which
what I was
is
going to do for y'all today is I'm going to show
all 7018 electrodes. This right here is one of our T-plates. This is the 4th project in the phase. Okay, there's 6 projects in the first phase. Okay, the first 3 are just stringer beads, just learning how to pull that puddle. We do that in a couple of different positions, flat, horizontal, and vertical. Then we move on to T-plates, which is actually if you just come on over here, it's a little warm, but you can see the back side of the project. I have the back side all filled out, and the front side's about 50% of the weld filled out. So I'm going to do the last 3 beads for you guys so you can see what's going on.
Yeah,
all right.
I ran them.
We're going to use the process called shielded metal arc welding, SMAW.
Punches through it like nothing.
And if it ain't hot enough, when you drop that wire in there, it'll ball up.
In the world, I mean, it's probably the most prevalent type of welding out there. It's really cheap. It's really easy. You don't need a gas because it's all part of the electrode here. And all you need is your power. So you don't need that big gas bottle or anything like that. All right, you can run it off the back of a truck or in a shop or something like that. It's really cheap. It's really easy, okay? So to get this thing going, we use our stinger, right, or our electrode holder. We just clip this little electrode in here. When it make contact with the metal, it's going to weld. All right, and all this gray stuff on here is going to break off and create my gas. All right. Y'all can bring it in a little closer so you can see what's going on. I'm just going to put this first pass right here, right over the last weld that I did, okay? I'm just going to drag it nice and slow. I'm going to let this rod burn up, kind of like a candle or a fuse or however you want to think about it. And I'm just going to let that metal just spray itself down the plate, okay? All right, here we go. Watch your eyes. All right, so that's it. You guys see it close enough? See what I was doing? All right, so you can see this is what I've got left. All right, I started with an electrode this long. I burned about half of it. All right, so all that material went down here on that plate. All right, and you see this like weird looking crust. That's what we call slag. All right, that's the gas that's on the end of the electrode. Being burned up is going from a solid to a liquid to a gas and then back to a solid. So once this weld cools a little bit, I can chip that little shell off. You can see my shiny nice little bead underneath. All right. And be careful because this stuff is kind of hot. You know, you don't want it going down your shirt or into your face or anything like that. So be easy when you scrape it off. All right. A little bit of dust on there from the process. We'll just scrape that dust off. All right. And then that way we can just inspect our weld and make sure it's nice and straight, nice and uniform. Okay. We don't want it squiggling, right? We don't want it higher on one side and lower on the other, stuff like that. So once we got a good bead, we'll put our next bead on top of it. So all I'm doing is I'm starting to work up this plate and put just as much material down on this plate as I am up on this plate. Okay, so I'm just joining the two together. When doing this, it's making that whole plate much stronger. Okay, and the 7018 electrode, the numbers mean something. The first two numbers, the 70 is the tensile strength, so 70,000 pounds per square inch. All right, and the 1 and the 8 is the position you can use in it, and then the compound of the gas that's on the outside. Okay, so this is going to be a really strong weld when I'm done with it. All right, and again, you'll find this kind of welding in like bridges, underwater welding, a lot of fabrication stuff out on the pipeline. Okay, stick welding is pretty popular. I have two other electrodes over here. All right, these two are the same. This one's smaller than the other, but they're both 7018. So believe it or not, just because it's a smaller electrode, it doesn't make it any weaker. It just makes it smaller so you can get into like a tighter space or something like that. And then this other different colored one, this is a 6010. So this one's 10,000 pounds less strong, right? Weaker. But they use this a penetrate rod, right? So they're like an open roof or something like on a pipeline or anything that's got an open gap and you can't put a vacuum strip on it or something like that. You'll learn more about it when you come here to Tulsa Welding School. Let me run this fast for you. So again, there's different angles in this thing. I've got 90 up, 45 down. Wherever you're at, wherever you need, whatever bead you're doing or however you're positioned, you can pick what angle you put this thing at, you know. This one at the 90 for. Let's do my second pass right on top. And I'll maybe 30% over at that last bead. Okay. Here we go. All right, that's it. Nice and easy. Get my little slag hammer here, and again, I'll just let this cool down. You don't want to get after it right after you finish welding because that slag can be a little hot. You don't want it to stick to your shirt or hit you in the face or something like that because it is kind of hot. It might burn you. Let's get all this stuff off right here. All right, we can see it's starting to come together, right? I overlapped that about 30% so I can still see that first weld. I can see all the weld that I just put in, nice and straight, nice and uniform. Okay, and then now I'm ready to put in my last pass. You want to make sure that you clean your welds. Before you do your next one, because if you have any of that slag in there, it can give you defects in your weld, because it's depleted gas. It's done its job. You don't need it anymore, so you just got to get it out of there before you put your next weld, okay? So here we go, last one. I'll do my final angle. I'll do a 45 degree up, kind of just angle my arm back. And I'll put it right here on the top. Here we go. If you guys can see the little orange ball behind me, that's my puddle. My puddle is actually my weld. So as I'm dragging this electrode down here, I'm looking at that bright little ball, which is my arc, and then I'm looking at the little orange ball behind me. And that's my puddle. And as long as my puddle is going where I want it to go, I'll have a nice pretty bead. The main thing with welding is don't rush it. There's 3 processes of welding. There's TIG, stick, and MIG, right? So G-MAW, G-MAW, and shield S-MAW, right? This is S-MAW or stick. All the 3 processes are relatively slow, all right? There's no welding that's like crazy fast, just get in and get it out. There's some welding that's a little faster than others, but for the most part, you gotta take your time. You gotta let fusion happen, all right? Fusion doesn't happen very fast. You can't rush the process. So a lot of times when I tell my students on that first day or two, like, hey, we're going to have some welding anxiety, right? There's going to be fire. It's going to be a little warm. We're going to be melting metal together. Okay, this job is literally playing with fire. But as long as we can get behind it and we can understand it, then we won't be afraid of it. We won't have that anxiety, all the smoke and the slag and the sparks and the heat and all that stuff. Okay, and it's very therapeutic when you start to slow down and just watch your puddle, watch the metal lay in there, all right? The whole world just kind of stops turning because it's real dark inside your hood. I know you guys got those little half shields, but when you drop this hood, I mean, it's dark and all you can see is that little puddle. And you just slow it down and check out your welds. So don't touch it because it's real hot, but you can see those 3 beads in there. That would be the completion of our 4th project in phase 1. Okay, this is the horizontal T-plate. All right, so this is what we like to see. 3 distinct beads. Nice and uniform, no defects, no slag inclusions, porosity, undercut, anything like that. You'll learn more about what that means when you come to school. But yeah, this is our first project all welded up. Y'all got any questions? All right, if you head back around the corner, we'll give you guys some more demos. Thanks for coming by. Come on over. Hey, how y'all doing? Y'all can grab some welding hoods behind you. Y'all having a good day so far? It's starting to get hot out there yet? Kinda. All right, hey, my name's Alex. I'm gonna
and I want to get as much from him and her. Our assistant director of training, Miss Laurie, she's a Navy vet. Man, if I was a student of hers, she would run from me. Oh my goodness, here's Mark again. Here's Mark. Yes, because I want to get all that knowledge from that person, because that's going to make me a better welder. Absolutely. So we're excited about our staff here. I mean, they're literally some of the best welders in the entire country that come here and teach. So I would encourage you to always keep in the back of your mind as a graduate of this school, coming back at one time in your career to invest in the next generation of welders. Could you imagine teaching at Tulsa Welding? Yeah, absolutely. I've got a teacher up in Thompson, Georgia, not far from Augusta right now. She's a graduate of this school. The state requires all educators X number of hours per year for professional development. She's coming back to Tulsa that first week of June as a welding teacher, a Tulsa grad, and doing her 20+ hours of professional development instructor training back here at her school, which is a free benefit to all of you when you, as a graduate, to come back anytime you want to any of our campuses in the country and practice well at no cost. Now you'll have a place to stay, but that's beside the point. So what I want you to realize here is that some of you, and I've been on Courtney Mosier for a long time, I said, you know, when you get tired, look at my hair color, when you get tired of dealing with teenagers and you're ready to focus on people that's excited to get up every day and come to class, come on back home and teach this next generation at a higher level. And, you know, Augusta, Georgia, Jacksonville. I'm not too sure that's a hard decision to make because, I mean, by the way, in case you didn't know this, I bet you do, we're 12 miles from where I'm standing to the Jacksonville Beach Pier. Right here off the Southside Boulevard runs into the beach. I can throw a baseball. Well, my arm wouldn't hurt. I can throw a baseball and hit Beach Boulevard. That's a straight shot to the ocean. And it's going to be a gorgeous day, gorgeous weekend this weekend here in Jacksonville. So, but while you're here in town, please go get a photo on the beach with you and your family. And then, oh, man, what a great time you guys are going to have. So, these guys love to teach.
Just like a candle or something, just burning up and throwing that metal in there.
July, awesome. All right, I'll be here. All right.
All right. Young man, can you step out here for just a second?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Can you tell the group a little bit about who you are?
As long as you watch your puddle, everything will be all right. All right, so there's our first pass. So you can see I started with this and I ended with this. You can see how much that.
Bit more, take your time. Yeah, you're burning your hand because it's up too high. You got to keep it down. You got to lean back too far. You got to keep it down into the weld pool.
Okay.
Yep.
More towards the pipe.
Yep. There you go. Yeah, there you go. I'm gonna do it. Let me help you.
About an hour away from here, small, itty bitty, don't know nothing about it. But after that, I actually applied here in Jacksonville at BAE Systems, what used to be known as Atlantic Marine back in the day. And I worked out there for 2 years as a pipe welder, mostly using 60-10 stick welding and 70-18 stick welding. After that, I went on the road to Tampa for a little while, worked that Tampa ship, you know, also doing new construction and repair out there. And then from there, I went up to Savannah for about a year on a contract working on a dry dock door. And then came back here to Jacksonville for a little while and kind of went here and there back to my hometown for another small contract. And then went to Virginia for a little while and been up there for like maybe a year. My son was born, came back down here, and I started here December. I've been here a year and a half. So, I mean, I came back around full circle, and I really wouldn't do anything else. This is what I love. I mean, how many of you guys like enjoy, or how many of you guys actually ever play with fire? Yeah. All right, so they're good. He's good too. So if you enjoy playing with fire, you know, if you're not scared of getting a little burned, I mean, this is totally for you then. I mean, whenever I came through and did the demo here or did a tour, I seen all that fire. I was like, oh, heck yeah, man, let's go. And yeah.
So about your weld test as a
Well, it went great, in my opinion. Now, I will say one of the tests here was to do a 6G TIG pipe on a 2-inch. And a little nervous about that because I really didn't do a whole lot of TIG out in the field, but I practiced a little bit and it came right back to me. All right. This is a skill that if you don't use it, you will lose it. Now, a lot of the processes that we learn here, you're not going to use them all out in the field, depending on what your specialty is. You want to play to your strengths. That's very important. So if you're applying to be a TIG welder, but you're really good at stick, I mean, you may get the job. Are you going to be the best at first? No, but I mean, that's what practice is for. And whenever I went out into the field, that's where I really got good. That's when, you know, let's say you had to weld a pipe and the gap, the fit up was really messed up and you had to weld a gap that wide. It's happened. I got pictures, trust me. And it becomes a challenge, and you get better from challenges.
Can you tell the group a little bit about why is it so important as a student at this school? Why do they drive attendance? They beat it, they beat it, they beat it.
All right, so unlike high school, this is a trade program. All right, attendance is important because the first thing an employer asks, they're not going to ask how their grades were. They're going to ask how well their attendance is. You know, you could be, you know, not the best welder in the world, but if you show up every day, that's what they want. They want to make sure you're reliable. Now, if you can be the best welder in the world, but if you're not there, it doesn't make a difference. So attendance is absolutely the first thing they ask, and then your grade point averages come in later.
How true is it that an employer, if you don't, is this a true statement? If you won't show up for class, then
Yeah.
I trust you to show up for work.
Exactly.
And what happens to the job in the timelines if they are short welders? It suffers, right?
Exactly. So usually most contracts, they are a timed contract, and usually they try to beat that time frame to get bonuses, which some companies do dish out to the employees themselves. But yeah, if you have, let's say, 50 workers and you have such amounted time allotment for the project, and those workers don't show up, well, you've just gone over your time budget. You've missed out on your bonus. Usually there's a small window where things get completed. For example, when we were building the ships at BAE Systems, we were on the second ship, and we were a year behind on that thing. Granted, this is a 2-year project. The second ship was one of the last ones to leave because they slapped the modules together with no piping systems in it, and so we had to work double time and harder just to be able to send it out. But just to go to show, time management.
When you talk about double time, you're talking about like.
Oh, we were working 12s every day.
Right, and anything over a certain hour was considered time and a half or over.
Yes, anything over 40 hours.
Right. And so, what's the most hours you've ever worked you can remember in overtime in 1 week?
Well, when I was night shift lead for North Florida Shipyards down at the Mayport facility, we were actually working on a elevator stop on the USS Iwo Jima, and we were also doing something in the day tank on the USS Phil C, if I'm not mistaken. Since I was running the night shift crew, only had 6 guys, so we were working 12s. So it was me and 6 other guys working on these projects. That week, I racked up 105 hours.
And they paid you, I bet.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Just wondering. You didn't do it for free, right?
No, I don't work for free.
Right. So, wonderful. Anybody that has not got a chance to see the demo here, who is that? If you've not seen this demo at this station. All right. Well, we're going to thank you for talking to our kids. Appreciate your stories.
Yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed it.
All right.
Hey, thank you. Oh, you can hand them to me right here. Appreciate you.
you'll do high frequency, which Mr. Case is doing down there. Do all aluminum, stainless steel, and stuff like that. And then to graduate, you got to do your 2 pipe welds, and you got to cut them out and bend them. So lots of stick welding here. Okay, but like I said, stick welding is really popular out in the industry. It's really, really cheap. It's easy to learn how to do it, and you can do it in all weather conditions because there's no wind that's going to steal that gas. And if you watch some underwater welding videos, they use a different electrode and a different machine, but it's the same idea. Okay, same idea. Y'all got any questions? All right, cool. Hey, y'all have a great day. All right.
Not Florida, but in the entire nation, and we're pleased to have him here. Ms. Dolez, if you would take a moment to talk to this group a little
Absolutely.
bit about who you are and your
Yes, sir.
background.
Yes, sir. Okay, so my name's Jack Dolez. I am the Director of Training here at Tulsa Welding School. I am a graduate of this program. I was the very first class that ever came through this school right here. I was 19 years old when I came here. I knew very, very little about welding. I showed up every day. I worked my butt off. I wasn't even the best welder. I didn't get the top graduate when I came here. I was pretty good, but I ended up graduating here. Within 2 weeks, I had a pipe welding job. I've traveled all over the southeast region working in power plants, juice plants, chicken poultry plants, a lot of different places. It's because of this school. This school gave me the skills and fundamentals to be successful. The same will happen for you if you come here. I'll tell you that you got to show up every day. This is a school that you got to be here. It's hands-on welding. That's what we do. We're in the booth, we're in here with you, we're welding with you, we've got your hands, we're whispering in your ear, whatever it takes to help you get there, that's what we're about. But we can't do it without you, okay? If anybody welded here before?
Raise your hand.
Yeah, a few of you have, right? And when you learned how to weld, you had to go put the hood on and go to work, right? There is not another way. I wish there was, because then it'd make it a lot easier, but it's not. You got to put the hood on, you got to go to work. So that's what we do here. Like I said, it's hands-on, and we're going to be in the booths with you all the time. As you can see, we've got plenty of booths here. We have 238 booths. We have 26 instructors that work here, and we have an average of around about 300 years of welding experience. We have men and women that have been all over the world and done pretty much everything. So whatever avenue you're wanting to go into, whether it be in nuclear powerhouses, if you want to build race cars, space shuttles, whatever that may look like, we have people that have been there and done that, and we can help you along the way. So that's kind of us and our program. Like I said, we do have several instructors here that are graduates of the program, where they went out and been successful and then came back and now they're teaching. To be an instructor here, you must have 5 years of experience. Like I said, we got guys of 30, 40, we got a couple guys with 50 years of experience on the shop floor. So like I said, we got a lot of information and skills here we could teach y'all. All right. So what I'm going to run a demonstration for you today is just walking the cup on 5-inch pipe. Like I say, it's nothing fancy, just showing you a little something here. Show you how to walk the cup. Anybody walked the cup before? No? Okay, let me show you what it is. Yeah, we'll get a hoods. Let me show you what it is first. All right, this is your Tig Rig, okay? Standard Tig Rig. And how this works is we got this piece of tungsten in here. You just see me sharpen it. It's always critical that you keep a nice sharp tungsten. If you mess up your tungsten, it's not going to work properly, so you always want to keep a nice sharp tungsten. So what we're going to do is once we get in there, I'll strike it up. You strike it like a match. There's a couple ways of striking it, getting this fire up. How do we do that? One, you can touch the tungsten to the metal. I don't recommend doing that because sometimes they'll mess up your tip. So what you can do is they call it a strike, a flick start. So basically we're going to take our TIG wire and we're going to hit the tungsten in the pipe all at the same time. It'll come on like a match. Okay, so we'll flick it, ding, and it'll come on. And then what you want to do is when you're walking it, you just want to take your time. A lot of people get in here and race. This is not a race. You want to go slow, take your time, learn how to do it. As you learn the skill set, then your speed will increase. But if you get in here and you try to go real fast, you're just going to mess it up. You can see where I've let a couple people run on my pipe here, and you can see the outcomes on there. So like I say, we'll just take our time. We're going to be using 70S wire. I'll show you one. Hold on. Going to be using this called 70S wire. Now, you can also see, here's a good one. You can see how we have a burned end and a good end, okay? You don't want to use your burned oxidized ends on there. What it does is if you try to weld with this wire here, it actually is going to put trash in your weld. So what you want to do is you always want to cut these burned ends off and use a good end, all right? So I'll pull you all up in here so everybody can see. Come on in. Yep, I'm not going to weld yet. Come on up here. All right, so what you can see is you can see some good beads and then some not so good beads. Well, like I say, what we're going to do is I'm not going to weld yet, but we'll set our TIG rig up here, all right? I'll strike it like a match. And then what I'll do is I'll roll this back and forth and I'll get me a little hot spot. Now, when you're walking the cup, you want to roll it and pivot, roll it, and pivot, okay? And that's how you actually walk the cup. When you're just rolling it back and forth like this, you're not really doing much. You can see I'm just doing a lot of back and forth, and I'm not really going anywhere. If you take it and you roll it and pivot, I'm not doing very much work, and you can see that the cup is moving pretty good. All right, and that's what we want to show you today. We're going to show you a little bit of the walk in the cup, okay? All right, so everybody put our shields on. I'm going to strike up right here next to this one. Make sure you have your gas on. Where's that bug? All right, so we're going to set it here. Shields up. Here we go. Strike it up. All right, like I say, just roll it back and forth and get a little hot spot. If you look down here, you can see the puddle, get a little liquidy puddle. Okay, it's running good. We're going to bring our wire in. Okay, and now you just want to spread it to the width you're looking for. And take your time. Like I say, this is not a race. Okay, you just want to go slow and watch what you're doing. Just spread it the same width every time. We're just rolling that cup back and forth, taking our time, watching the puddle, trying to go the same width every time. All right. Then we got a nice little pretty bead on there. Okay. Like I said, it just takes your time. You just got to take time, practice with it. That's what you're going to do here at the school. Go walk in the cup. We also show freehanding. That is something that you need to learn. But like I said, we want to show you walking the cup. When you can walk the cup really nice and pretty, it just looks good. You know what I mean? When you finish that final product and you put some nice beads down on there, everybody's like, oh yeah, that looks good. You know what I mean? So that's what you want to show, some high, high skill level. And so, like I say, you will learn this in this program. This is something you'll learn when you get to like 120 in our program. So about halfway through our program, you're going to start learning this technique. How long does it take to learn this technique? I'd say every day in here, probably a good 6 weeks, 5 to 6 weeks, and you've got this pretty slick. You know what I mean? There's probably some tweaking that you need to do, but you get it pretty good. And this is just one of the things we do. We show it on 2-inch pipe. We show you how to do the root, the fill, the cap, all of it. But like I say, we're not going to go through the whole process today. It's just kind of showing y'all some demonstrations. So anything else y'all want to see? You want me to do it again? You tell me. I'm here to show you. I'm here to talk to you. What y'all want to do?
You guys weld like
the root? Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No, there's kind of a root over here. Now this is what you don't want. So if you're doing stuff like this is not good. Okay, but yeah, something like this here, which honestly this isn't the best neither, but something like that. But yeah, we show you how to put the root in, the fill, the cap. That when you get into phase 120, you actually you weld a whole piece of pipe with the TIG process from root, fill, and cap all at once. Well, not all at one time, but multiple passes. Yep, and you got to bend out on it. So you're actually going to have to graduate, showing that you have these skill sets that you can actually do this, and from a root, fill, and cap process. Yep. So what else y'all want to see? Nothing else? Everybody's not saying anything. Y'all can talk to me, man. I'm a nice guy. We can talk. You can ask questions. Everybody's a little gun shy. Okay. Any of y'all starting school here? Any of y'all coming to school here? In July. Okay. All right. Well, like I said, my name's Jack here, and that's my office right over there. I run everything out here in this shop, everything on this side of the wall, I'm in charge of it. And so if y'all have questions, you have concerns, whatever's going on, I have an open door policy. You can always come in and see me. Like I say, if you need something, if you want me to weld with you, that's not a problem. There's not a process in here that I can't run, I can't do. And I'll be glad to put my hood on and weld. I got everything in my office, so I'm always here ready to go. All right? So I'm really glad to have y'all today, and we'll kind of keep y'all moving on to the next spot. All right?
Good morning. Welcome to our Tulsa Welding School Open House event. I hope you're enjoying everything you've seen thus far. Now let me tell you a little bit about Tulsa Welding School, Jacksonville. So why should you choose Tulsa Welding School of Jacksonville? Well, number one, we have been doing this training a very long time, since 1949. We offer legendary focused training and curriculum built on industry demand. You're going to learn the skills that's needed to make you marketable to the actual industry. We are the largest welding school in the country. You're going to learn a diversity of different welding skill sets, MIG, TIG, flux core, etc. The training is short. You can complete your training in as little as 7 months. Over 66,000 square foot classroom, lab, and support service area. Huge shop out there. The school is accredited through ACCSC, which stands for the Accrediting Commission of Career Schools and Colleges. And our vision is to be recognized as the highest quality provider of career education, resulting in an outstanding return on investment for our students. All right, so some of those departments that we have here to support you during this journey, during this process. One department is called Student Services. What they offer is in-school advising and assistance. That covers a wide range of things from ride share, assistance with finding jobs, roommates, housing assistance. They're here to help you complete this goal. Transcripts and grades, attendance tracking and monitoring, and instructors that care. We care about your success. We want you to have a successful future. Another department here that's vital at the school is the Career Services Department. They do a number of things to assist to make sure that at the end of this journey, you're able to transition into the workforce. Resume building and enhancement. That's a scary subject for a lot of people. So you have the support and someone here to help you format your resume so that you're able to get employed. Interview training, so you know what to expect during that process. Full-time career assistance, part-time job assistance. Our current graduate employment rate is 84%. You're going to also meet with the personal career service advisor that partners with you to discuss all upcoming job opportunities. Another very vital department is financial services or financial aid. They help you apply for financial aid, including Pell Grants and Stafford loans to see what you may be eligible for. Jacksonville also has additional options to help make your education affordable. We also have low monthly investments in your future where you can make low monthly payments if that's necessary. Multiple scholarships available for those who qualify, and we create a personalized plan for you based on what you qualify for. Another vital department is the education department. These are our instructors. These are the guys and gals that's going to be teaching you your welding skill set. So when you combine their years of experience and work out there in the field, our instructors have over 365 years of combined experience. Our average student to teacher ratio is about 30-1. Tutoring is available at no additional charge, and graduates can refresh their training in any previously completed course as long as you're in good standing. That's an amazing resource for life. Come back and get the help that you need. We've trained over 5,500 graduates in the welding industry since 2001. This is a hands-on learning environment. Welding is a hands-on trade. So we have a theory called crawl, walk, run theory of training. We tell you how to do it, we show you how to do it, and then you're able to hands-on complete this task, weld, and do it over and over and over again while your instructors help and critique you until you get it right. 5 hours a day, that's how long your classes are. 4 days you're in the shop, 1 day of lecture. The programs we offer. The professional welding program is 7 months long. The average income based on the Bureau of Labor Statistics in the Jacksonville area, roughly about $42,030. The hourly breaks out to about $20.21 per hour. That's based on the Bureau of Labor Statistics for the Jacksonville area. The graduates acquire many skills and can branch off into various career and employment opportunities. So this coursework includes the introduction to welding. You're going to learn pipe welding and have many different career preparation skill sets. A lot of different career opportunities is weld, pipeline welding, structural welding, and thin alloy welding. Once we're done with this presentation and you go out there in the shop area, you're going to be able to sit down with a admissions rep that'll go over the details, tuition, and exactly what's included with the tuition of the course. So the total tuition is $20,983. That breaks out with the tuition portion being $17,857. The registration fee is $50. The lab fees are $1,818. Course materials and textbooks, $246. The gear package is $760. Accident insurance, $252. We also have a program called pipe fitting that is an add-on course. So with the welding and the pipe fitting combined, the total tuition is $24,036, which includes everything I mentioned before. If you're in the military, we also have special military tuition pricing for people that are eligible for that, where we also offer a discounted tuition because of your service to our country. Thank you for your service. So what will you need? We keep it simple here at Tulsa. Are you going to need to bring to school are jeans or work pants, boots, and your eyeglasses. Rolling tool chest is optional because your service does come with a lot of tools and equipment. Things that's included with the tuition is your accident insurance, your books, your grinder, your lab fees, your leather gloves, your jacket, your hood, hat, safety equipment, and your materials. That comes with the tuition. You don't have to buy any of those things. Graduation and beyond, that's the fun time. You've now completed your training, graduation ceremony, and now it's time to start working in welding. Who will be at your ceremony? Who's going to be proud of you? Who's going to see you go across that stage? Another resource we offer is lifetime graduate employment assistance. You'll be a lifetime alumni of this Jacksonville campus, and you can always come back and refresh your courses. If you have any questions, we have a team of people on standby for you right now. So if you have any questions or concerns about financial aid, about the job employment assistance, program specifics, and we'll set you up to get the tour. Thank you all so much for your attention, and I hope you enjoyed learning more about Tulsa Welding School.
All it across. Oh, take your time. All right, I'm gonna let you have it. You hold on to it. All right. All right. Here, I got it. Want the wire? You want to try the wire too? All right. There's the wire in your hand. You can try it. Take your time. Yep, strike it like a match. Yep. Yep. Just get you a little hot spot there. Roll it back and forth, get a little hot spot. There you go. Take your time. Slow down. Like I say, go slow. There you go. There you go. Try to watch that tungsten. Try not to stick it. Yep, just roll it back and forth. There you go. There you go. Now you're doing it. You're doing good. Take your time. Take your time. Watch that tungsten. Try not to get it too far away. Anytime you see the wire kind of running away from you, it's telling that you're, it's telling that you're long arcing it. So anytime the wire, here, do this. Always bend it down. Anytime the wire is like balling up and running away, the arc is not pointing down at the puddle anymore. It's now pointing at the wire, and that's why the wire is balling up and running away. So when you see that, it's telling you point the tungsten more down at the weld pool. Yeah, that was you. You did that. Oh, you did good. Both y'all did good, man. I'm proud of both of you. Yeah, I'll take it. Yeah, man, anytime.
Common mistake I see about the first week.
Lewis, what up, buddy? No, just
don't do that. All right, it's not cool. You're gonna damage the weld. You're gonna hurt yourself. Okay. You just need to rake it. All right, and it'll clean itself off. If you need to give it a couple of love taps, that's all good. All right, same thing with brushing. All right, don't go in there all crazy. Give it nice light brushes. I apply good firm pressure, but don't be like scrubbing this thing so hard that there's like stuff flying off and welding's really hot. Okay, we wear a lot of personal protection equipment, PPE. Okay, but that doesn't make you invincible. Okay. So just be careful. All right, so here we go. That's that 5th bead. You can see I still got 2 beads, but they're slightly lower than what we started with, right? But that's because I got 3 beads in there. So that last bead is gonna go right up on top, and y'all should be able to see 3 nice beads all stacked up, okay? All right, so I'll do this one to 45 going up, because again, comfortable. If you guys haven't noticed, I kind of hold my electrode like a pool cue, okay? I'm not squeezing down on this because it does get hot and it can burn you, okay? But I hold it like a pool cue, nice and easy, because as I'm welding, I'm actually sliding my hand up until I don't need my hand anymore, and I'll just drop my hand, you know? In some cases, maybe if I was welding overhead, I'd need my hand the whole time, all right? But I'd bring my hand down so close that I would actually just come in one with the stinger, you know? But it's all about being comfortable, it's all about being stable and having control of this electrode, okay? You have 100% control once you learn how to manipulate that puddle in the arc, okay? All right, so here we go with that 6th pass. Watch your eyes. All right, and there we go. That project is complete. So like I mentioned before, this is shielded metal arc welding. This is the first type of process that you'll start off with here in Tulsa Welding School. Okay, you'll do 5 weeks of this. In phase 1, you'll learn how to just pull a bead, run T-plates and stuff like that. Then you'll go into phase 105, your 2nd phase. All right, and you'll learn how to use MIG welding, all right, or GMAW, gas metal arc welding. Okay, and that's like squirt gun welding. You just pull the trigger and the wire comes out and just spray metal on there. It's really easy, but it's something it's out there. It's not as popular as stick welding is. It costs a little bit more money because you have that wire, you have a gas bottle, you know, with a liquid gas that you have to put in there. So stick welding you'll find pretty much everywhere, okay? It's portable. You can put it in a truck, you can run a machine off a generator. You could have it like here in a school or like in a warehouse or a factory or something like that, okay? The stick welding is really cheap, it's really easy. 50 pounds of these electrodes go for like 150 bucks, okay? Well, we go through about 3 of them in a session, right? So like 9 boxes a day, just in phase 1. But to put that into perspective, I mean, for one person, 50 pounds would last you, you know, probably a week, okay? So when you're out on the job, it's really cheap for somebody to pay you to be a stick welder and go out and, you know, get up real high, because all you need is the 2 leads to follow you. And as long as you can electrically charge, you know, a metallic piece and you have a stinger, now you can weld. Okay, so you'll see it out on the pipelines, you'll see it building skyscrapers, you'll see it in some fabrication shops and stuff like that. It all depends on what you're looking to do. Okay, so we'll chip this last slag off this bead right here. All right, again with that dust, serves a purpose. It helps sparks not stick. I have a lot of sparks on this plate because I got this one out of the scrap bin. I didn't actually prep this one up, but that's okay. All right, we'll just scrub this out so you guys can take a look. All right, we bring it on in and take a look. Just don't touch it, it's pretty hot. All right, we got 3 distinct beads, okay? That completes our project. Okay, so at a minimum, this is what I want to see for your 4th, 5th, and 6th project in phase 1, okay? Like I said, the first 3 projects are just flat plate. You'll just get basically a piece of scrap metal, and you'll just pull these straight beads on there until you can get them nice and uniform, and you can reciprocate it over and over and over again to the point where, okay, you've got it, let's change positions. You've got it, let's change positions. Now we actually go into a fillet, all right, where we're joining 2 pieces of metal for the first time. Okay, and you bring me something like this, I'll give you an awesome grade, and you move to the next project, okay? Y'all got any questions? All right, thanks y'all for coming in. Have a great day.
I'm just rolling it across.
Yeah,
I'm going to take my hands off of him and give it to you, okay? All right, you keep going. I'll get that out of your way. Try to get the tungsten down a little closer. There you go. Try to get it a little close. There you go. Try to keep it close. Yep. You're doing good. Yes, just take your time rolling it back and forth. You're doing good. Try to keep the tungsten a little close. There you go. There you go. You're doing good. Mm-hmm. Yep, you're okay, you're good. You can stop. Just pull it off. There you go. Yep. Yep. You did good. You did awesome. You were lying. You said you had never welded before. You did good. I was proud of you. Excellent job. Excellent job. All right. You want to see some more? Y'all want to do some more? You want to run it again? I got you. Yep. She did good right there. That was her. Excellent job. Yep. Good job. Yeah, you can try. If you can just grab the gloves and the hood from them. All right. So like I said, me and you are going to do this together at first, and then I'll turn it over to you and let you have it. Yep. So how do you push when you want to tighten it? Look, push into your head and turn it to the right. So you push this down and turn to the right. Yep. You know they can, yeah. Yeah. All right. So we got our gas on. All right, you grab it. All right, now let me do the work. That's going to be hot up there, so watch your hands. So let me do the work. You just hold on to it, okay? All right, here we go. You ready? All right, so we struck it up. We're just going to get us a little hot spot here. I'm bringing the wire. I'm just going to take our time, roll back and forth. I'm let you have it. Oh, take your time. Watch that tungsten. Try not to stick it. Yep, roll it back and forth. You're all right, just take your time. There you go. Watch that tungsten. There you go, try to keep it. There you go. Oh, there you go. Good job, keep it going. Roll it back and forth. Roll it back and forth. Yep. Yep. You're doing good. Keep it going. Keep working it. Keep it going. Yeah, you're supposed to be going up. It's okay. That's easy as it looks, huh? Okay, let's stop there. You can just lift it up. Yep. Just like that. You did good. Yeah, it wasn't bad. But when you got, what happened back here is you stopped moving it. You just were, when you roll it, you got to roll and pivot. Like that. And what happened is you were just kind of like rolling it and just rolling it and rolling it. When you just roll it back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, you don't go nowhere. You know what I mean? So you got to roll that thing, pivot it. You did good though. Yeah, man. All right. Hey, how is everyone? Let me get a piece of wire here. Yep. Hey, how's everyone doing? Yep. So let me just tell everybody what we got going on here real quick. So my name is Jack Dolez. I am the director of training here at Tulsa Welding School. I've been working here now for 16, 17 years. And I'm a graduate of this program. I was the very first class that ever came through this building right here. And this school changed my life. I was 19 years old when I came here. I knew very, very little about welding. Showed up, worked my butt off, graduated here, traveled all over the southeast region working in power plants, juice plants, and chicken poultry plants, and a lot of different places. And like I said, this school changed my life. It really did, and that's the facts. And the same will happen for you, but you got to be here every day. Okay, you got to come in here, you got to put the time in, you got to put the hood down and go to work. Any of y'all welded before? Welded before, yeah. Yeah, and when you learned how to weld, you had to put the hood on and go try it, whatever that process is. And that's what we do. We're hands-on here. We got 238 booths. I have 27 instructors here, and we have around 330 years of welding experience on the shop floor. We got people that have been all over the world and done it all. So whatever avenue you're wanting to go into welding, we've got people that have been there and done that. And so, like I say, this is a great place to come to school. Like I say, and we're hands-on. We're going to come in here, we're going to hold your hand, whisper in your ear, whatever it takes to help you get there. That's what I'm about. And so, yeah, like I say, this is my office right over there, so I'm always here. And if you got questions, concerns while you're in school here, you can always come see me. All right? So we're going to do some TIG welding today. I'm going to show you this is a standard TIG rig. Okay? How this works is our arc's going to come out of our tungsten here, okay? And you want to keep this tungsten nice and sharp. It's a little messed up, but what's going to happen is this is very focused and very direct welding. A lot of times with the TIG process, if it's messed up, it's probably because you messed it up, okay? It doesn't mess up on its own. But what we're going to do is we're going to learn how to walk the cup. So we're going to strike this rod up. How do you do that? You can either you can touch the tungsten to the pipe, or you strike it like a match, and that's what I'm going to show you. Strike it like a match, that way it doesn't mess up your tungsten. But then what we're going to do is we're going to learn how to walk the cup. Okay, and how to walk the cup, I'll show you real quick. I'm not going to weld, you can just come here and look. So when you want to, okay, so this is like rolling the cup. See how I'm just rolling it back and forth? We're really not doing much. It's going, but it's real slow. Walking the cup is actually where you roll and pivot the cup. Roll it and pivot. Roll it and pivot. And so that cup is rolling. And you ever moved like a heavy trash can or a barrel and you had to crab it, walk it? You know, we're doing the same thing on a piece of pipe. And so that's what you want to do, and that gets you to where you can travel far. You can see I'm not doing a whole lot of work, and you can see how much farther I'm moving with my cup. And so that's what we want to do. So these are some good beads, you know, and here's not so much. You know, these are the things that you don't want. So what I'll do is I'll show you some good ones, and then me and you'll hold hands and we'll weld some together. All right? Our tungsten's a little fouled up, but we'll just continue on with it. I would tell you, and I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to change it. But when you weld with a tungsten, with a TIG process, you always want a nice sharp tungsten. You can see how sharp that tungsten is, and then compared to this side over here, you know, it's all kind of beaten up a little bit. When you have a dull tungsten, you're really not helping yourself. You're kind of hurting yourself. So always try to use a good piece of tungsten. Also, next thing is you always want to use a good clean wire. Okay, some of these wires here, you can see how they've been burned. Okay, this is oxidation on the ends here, and if you actually try to weld with this, can it be done? Yeah, but it's going to put trash into your puddle, and you don't want to do that. So you cut these ends off and always keep a good end on. All right. Okay, so we're going to be TIG welding today. I've got it set about 140 amps or so, and do a little walk in the cup. You always got to have gas on. Make sure you turn your gas. That's how this little knob will turn your gas on and off. And here we go. We're going to run some beads. Come on up here, get close, get tight, so everybody can see. All right, here we go. Like I say, strike up. Get you a little hot spot there. You can see my puddle down here. Okay, just want to get a little hot spot. Then we're going to bring our wire in, and we're going to spread it to the width that we're looking for. Once you find that width that you're looking for, then you just start rolling, pivoting that cup. And this is
we've got a fill. I'll do 2 beads, and we've got a cap, which is 3 beads. Okay, so we'll go ahead and we'll do our fill. I'll just take this next electrode, and right here on the toe line, or the edge, or the crease, or whatever you want to call it, where the weld meets the material, the plate, that's our toe line. And I'm going to aim at that toe line as if I drew a line there. Okay, and some of you might want to draw a little line there, and that's totally fine. All right, and just shade this in, because it is pretty dark looking through that welding helmet. Okay, and we're just going to burn that line up. All right? We don't want to cover anything less than 50% off of here, so we're shooting for about 30 to 50% over this first pass. Okay, so back to my electrode holder, I'll clip it in the 45 going down just because it's a little easier. The ABCs of welding, right? Always be comfortable. Okay, if I put this in the 90, my hand way up high, and that's just, it's not cool. It's uncomfortable. I don't like doing that. So I'm gonna angle it down, and I don't have to come up as high, okay? All right, here we go, second pass, watch your eyes. All right, so here we go, we're following that little line. You gotta make sure that that puddle doesn't go up on top of that weld more than 50%. All right, remember, 30 to 50%. And as I'm welding towards that line that I drew, it's kind of burning up. And that's fine because we don't need that line after we weld it. We're just using that as a reference line. All right, and again, just watching that arc length, make sure we don't dig into the plate. Make sure we don't come off too far and creating a long arc. All right, and then we snap it away at the end. Okay, always snap it away. Okay, break that circuit quick. Excuse me. All right, wait for this slag to cool a little bit. All right, don't have that slag hammer ready when you're done welding. Okay, because that slag is real hot. So if you get after it right after you start welding, it stuff starts popping off everywhere. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna burn. Okay, so again, just put it right on the top toe line. Look at that nice even pressure. The slag comes right off. All right, again, ping those ends. The ends are always a little stubborn. And just rake it back and forth, okay? Rake those toe lines. All right, bust all that slag off. When you think you've got it all, go ahead and grab your brush, you know, and again, don't want to brush too vigorously. Don't want to throw material around too much. All right, we've got our second bead of the sequence, okay? So, now, y'all can see my first weld in there, right? You got to kind of look close because I covered it up, all right? But you can see that top toe line. All right, but there's like a crack in there, right? It's real deep. It's what we call a valley, okay? We've got to go slow over valleys because this portion of the material is now deeper than what we've just welded, okay? So we're almost welding like we did when we did our root weld, but not as deep, so it shouldn't be as bad, okay? But we got to remember when we've got a valley, we got to go slow because if we go fast across the valley, we'll have a real flat appearance to our weld. We don't want that. We want a good roll, all right? So it'll give us an overlay, all right? So I'm gonna aim towards this back plate because we got gravity working against us. I'm gonna push in and downward at the same time as I'm dragging it across. Let the electrode do the work and don't fight it, all right? Just let it be easy and come natural to you, okay? And this will be the last angle that I'll do. So I'll come up here in the 45 going up. And some of you might have noticed I hold this like a pool cue, okay? You don't have to. Okay, but if you do, don't hang on to it too tight because it is hot and it will burn you, okay? Hold it like a pool cue, nice and easy, all right? Just let it rest on your finger. That way, if it gets hot, you can move your fingers around or move your hand away. But as I'm welding, I'm actually sliding my hand down gradually and slowly because that gives me more control, all right? The more control you have, the better your weld appearance is gonna be, all right? So here we go, that third pass, right up top, nice and easy. Watch your eyes. So go nice and slow. You can see right in front of me, I've got kind of a deep valley. If I go fast across that, I'm not going to have a good looking weld. You got to go nice and slow. All right, much slower than the other welds that I was doing. You just let this rod burn up. Just feel it burning in your hand. Let it feed itself. Let it do all the work for you. Nice and easy. We're almost to the end, about 3/4 now. All right, and when we get to the end, we always snap our wrists, right? Always break the arc quick, all right? I always like to say break the arc, okay? Because you got to get that thing away from there so you can get the broken. Okay, again, wait just a second for that slag. You can see it actually starting to separate a little bit. All right, that's a good thing. If your slag's just falling off or peeling off and stuff, that's a really, really good thing, okay? Doesn't always happen. When it does, it feels really good, though. And just lightly rake this off, okay? You can see I have a nice straight bead. All right, all that slag comes off nice and easy. Okay, and again, we get all the slag off because it's just depleted carbon. It's just depleted gas. We don't need it anymore. And in fact, if we left it there and we welded over it, we would have all these defects. We would have slag inclusions, slag entrapments, porosity, stuff like that. So you got to make sure you get all of that stuff out of there before you do your next weld, okay? The other thing you got to worry about is something that we call undercut, okay? Undercut is when you're removing unwanted material. A lot of times that happens on the top of your weld because heat rises, right? And as heat rises, it creates kind of a force field where the top of the plate and that center of your heat is coming from, the source of your heat, okay? If you get this plate too hot, what's going to happen is it's going to start cutting away from the material, and it's going to start removing material that you don't want it to remove, okay? And that would get you gig points, okay? But we don't have any undercut. We don't have any slag inclusions or porosity or anything like that. And this project is halfway complete, okay? So at this time, we would break it off, and we go dunk it in the water, okay? Because that gets the heat off. Some of you guys might be able to feel the heat from there, right? Okay? Getting that heat off is going to prevent a lot of that undercutting I was talking about, okay? The other thing what it does is it forces you to take a look at your weld and say, okay, am I too low? Am I too high? Do I have separation? Do I have one of those slag inclusions? Do I have some porosity, right? Because if we have defects like that, the only thing that we can do is grind them out and then weld over them, okay? So if your project is a little too low or it is a little too high, or you have separation or whatever, now you know when you tack it up, you can overcompensate so you can get those last 3 beads in so the project looks right, okay? Y'all got any questions?
I do.
What's up?
How do you handle somebody that looks at the quality of your work and shakes their head like, man, I don't know that I could ever be that good? How do you, as an instructor, prevent that from being intimidating and somebody saying, man, I just don't think I could be, and maybe it is.
Well, I guess because there's always somebody that's better than you out there. There's always there's people better than me, welding, okay? When I went through welding school, you know what type of welding I liked the least amount? Stick welding. This right here. I hated it, man. I hated it. It was gross, it was dirty, there was dust and sparks. I like that TIG welding, right? There's no sparks, right? And it's nice. You can wear like a t-shirt or whatever, okay? But look at me now. I teach stick welding because when I was out in the field and I was working, most of the time it was like, hey Alex, we need you to stick weld. We need you to stick weld, need you to stick weld. So the more that you practice, the better that you get, okay? And don't be intimidated, all right? A weld's a weld, okay? There's a lot of people that can make them look like super pretty, right? You look on the internet and they got those purple and the golds and everything going on. That's all cool, okay? But there's always that line. You either pass or fail, okay? Now you can like further exceed on that pass scale and you can get into like the real pretty welds and stuff like that. But don't get too hell-bent on it. If your weld's not amazing the first time, keep practicing, keep doing it, and if this is something that you want to do it, okay? This hood time is the best time, all right? When you drop this hood, the world stops turning, at least for me, okay? It's really therapeutic. I come in here and I weld, and it's like I'm welding my worries away, okay? Because there's nobody inside of here besides me, all right? And I can just make my work happen, okay? The other thing too is there's lots of types of jobs out there, okay? There's the MIG, TIG, and stick jobs, right? So there's all the structural, pipeline welds, you have fabrication, you can start your own business, right? There's tons of stuff out there, okay? So maybe you're not the best at stick welding, that's fine. You might be really, really good at TIG, or you might be really, really good at MIG, all right? All those jobs pay money, okay? And don't worry about, oh, which one makes me the most money? The one that makes you the most money is the one that you're the best at. If you're better than other people, you'll make more money. It don't matter. It doesn't matter what type of welding it is. As long as you're good at it, you practice it, you work hard, you will get better, okay? So don't be intimidated. If you see somebody that intimidates you, hey, how'd you do that? Ask them for tips, ask them for tricks, okay? Because everybody's got their own style, okay? I like to refer to welding as like handwriting, okay? Like cursive, okay? Everybody can write cursive, but some people's looks prettier than others. You got the little curly cues up there, like little swoops and stuff, but it all reads the same, right? I mean, if everybody were to write the same sentence, it would still say the same thing, but it all look different, right? But somebody's might look prettier than the others, right? That's the same with welding. But did you write the sentence? Is it spelled correctly? See where I'm going with it? okay? So just work hard. Hood time's the best time, okay? Attendance, okay? Attendance. It doesn't matter if you're morning, afternoon, or evening. If you come in outside of your scheduled time and you come and find me and say, hey, Alex, can I weld? I will find you a booth. I will find you a booth, okay? And if not, I will bring you up here to the demo booth and I'll weld with you, all right? Every Friday we do Ring Central, okay? So it's our practice days on Friday, and we've like gradually gotten more and more people, all right? My class is right there in K aisle, and I tell my whole class, hey, if you need me, I'm in the demo booth. That way I can help my class and I can be in here in the demo booth so you can see me welding whatever you want to see me weld, all right? I love welding. I love teaching, all right? I'm a hands-on teacher, so don't be afraid to be like, hey, can you just run a bead for me so I can see how you do it? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All day until I clock out, all right? Just come here, work hard, you know, get grades, and you make it, okay? You will make it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, y'all have a great day. Thanks for coming in.
We're done with the hood. We can set them over here.
Yeah, I got a sticker out over there. You gotta switch the machine too. Yeah. Yeah. Woo, man. That baby is hot. Eyeballs. It's alright. I'll make it work. Oh, I know it. It was running nasty, but hey, we got her to stick. Yeah. Take it there, buddy. That sucker was hot as hell. Yeah. Yeah, it's alright. I'll just let it sit for a second. It should be alright. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was holding her hands and everything.
Good morning. Welcome to our Tulsa Welding School Open House event. I hope you're enjoying everything you've seen thus far. Now let me tell you a little bit about Tulsa Welding School, Jacksonville. So why should you choose Tulsa Welding School of Jacksonville? Well, number one, we have been doing this training a very long time, since 1949. We offer legendary focused training and curriculum built on industry demand. You're going to learn the skills that's needed to make you marketable to the actual industry. We are the largest welding school in the country. You're going to learn a diversity of different welding skill sets, MIG, TIG, flux core, etc. The training is short. You can complete your training in as little as 7 months. Over 66,000 square foot classroom, lab, and support service area. Huge shop out there. The school is accredited through ACCSC, which stands for the Accrediting Commission of Career Schools and Colleges. And our vision is to be recognized as the highest quality provider of career education, resulting in an outstanding return on investment for our students. All right, so some of those departments that we have here to support you during this journey, during this process. One department is called Student Services. What they offer is in-school advising and assistance. That covers a wide range of things from ride share, assistance with finding jobs, roommates, housing assistance. They're here to help you complete this goal. Transcripts and grades, attendance tracking and monitoring, and instructors that care. We care about your success. We want you to have a successful future. Another department here that's vital at the school is the Career Services Department. They do a number of things to assist to make sure that at the end of this journey, you're able to transition into the workforce. Resume building and enhancement. That's a scary subject for a lot of people. So you have the support and someone here to help you format your resume so that you're able to get employed. Interview training, so you know what to expect during that process. Full-time career assistance, part-time job assistance. Our current graduate employment rate is 84%. You're going to also meet with the personal career service advisor that partners with you to discuss all upcoming job opportunities. Another very vital department is financial services or financial aid. They help you apply for financial aid, including Pell Grants and Stafford loans to see what you may be eligible for. Jacksonville also has additional options to help make your education affordable. We also have low monthly investments in your future where you can make low monthly payments if that's necessary. Multiple scholarships available for those who qualify, and we create a personalized plan for you based on what you qualify for. Another vital department is the education department. These are our instructors. These are the guys and gals that's going to be teaching you your welding skill set. So when you combine their years of experience and work out there in the field, our instructors have over 365 years of combined experience. Our average student to teacher ratio is about 30-1. Tutoring is available at no additional charge, and graduates can refresh their training in any previously completed course as long as you're in good standing. That's an amazing resource for life. Come back and get the help that you need. We've trained over 5,500 graduates in the welding industry since 2001. This is a hands-on learning environment. Welding is a hands-on trade. So we have a theory called crawl, walk, run theory of training. We tell you how to do it, we show you how to do it, and then you're able to hands-on complete this task, weld, and do it over and over and over again while your instructors help and critique you until you get it right. 5 hours a day, that's how long your classes are. 4 days you're in the shop, 1 day of lecture. The programs we offer. The professional welding program is 7 months long. The average income based on the Bureau of Labor Statistics in the Jacksonville area, roughly about $42,030. The hourly breaks out to about $20.21 per hour. That's based on the Bureau of Labor Statistics for the Jacksonville area. The graduates acquire many skills and can branch off into various career and employment opportunities. So this coursework includes the introduction to welding. You're going to learn pipe welding and have many different career preparation skill sets. A lot of different career opportunities is weld, pipeline welding, structural welding, and thin alloy welding. Once we're done with this presentation and you go out there in the shop area, you're going to be able to sit down with a admissions rep that'll go over the details, tuition, and exactly what's included with the tuition of the course. So the total tuition is $20,983. That breaks out with the tuition portion being $17,857. The registration fee is $50. The lab fees are $1,818. Course materials and textbooks, $246. The gear package is $760. Accident insurance, $252. We also have a program called pipe fitting that is an add-on course. So with the welding and the pipe fitting combined, the total tuition is $24,036, which includes everything I mentioned before. If you're in the military, we also have special military tuition pricing for people that are eligible for that, where we also offer a discounted tuition because of your service to our country. Thank you for your service. So what will you need? We keep it simple here at Tulsa. Are you going to need to bring to school or jeans or work pants, boots, and your eyeglasses? Rolling tool chest is optional because your service does come with a lot of tools and equipment. Things that's included with the tuition is your accident insurance, your books, your grinder, your lab fees, your leather gloves, your jacket, your hood, hat, safety equipment, and your materials. That comes with the tuition. You don't have to buy any of those things. Graduation and beyond, that's the fun time. You've now completed your training, graduation ceremony, and now it's time to start working in welding. Who will be at your ceremony? Who's going to be proud of you? Who's going to see you go across that stage? Another resource we offer is lifetime graduate employment assistance. You'll be a lifetime alumni of this Jacksonville campus, and you can always come back and refresh your courses. If you have any questions, we have a team of people on standby for you right now. So if you have any questions or concerns about financial aid, about the job employment assistance, program specifics, and we'll set you up to get the tour. Thank you all so much for your attention, and I hope you enjoyed learning more about Tulsa Welding School.
Hello, my name is Megan Tipton. I'm the Associate Director of Student Services here at Tulsa Welding School in Jacksonville. Basically, my job is to make sure that you guys understand how you are paying for school. We help you apply for federal student loans, grants. We have scholarship opportunities. We also have payment plans available if there's a balance left over. And then we also have VA students if you're using your GI Bill. We can help you apply for those benefits. Basically, we just want to make sure that you guys understand how you're paying for school, where to go to make your payments if you need to, and answer any questions that you have. I'm here on campus today, and if you guys have any personal questions or anything that you want to ask, go ahead and put it in the chat, and I can just run back over here and answer those questions for you. Financial aid is a little confusing sometimes, so don't feel silly. Make sure you ask those questions so we can get anything cleared up.
So much hands-on here and so much time in the booth with you. Like I say, you'll get it the same way. You want to try some? Yeah, listen. I got you. There's a hood and some gloves right here. Yep. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep, yep. You said it 100%. Yeah, I'm gonna help you. We're gonna do one together. You right-handed or left-handed? Right. Okay, me too. Let me get you some wire here. Yep. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to see the blue light. We call it the blue bird. You don't want to look at the blue bird. It'll burn the eyes. Not good. All right, so I'm gonna let you get in here. Let me swap spots with you. Let me slide out there real quick. Mm-hmm. Yep, it is gonna be hot. For sure. Yep, we're running about 1,300 degrees here. So, all right. So we got our gas on. Let me see. Hold on, make sure we got gas. There we go. All right. So let me do the work. You just hold on to it. It's where you can feel it. All right. All right. Let me do the work, and then I'm gonna let you have it as we're going. Here we go. You ready? Hood's on. All right. So we struck it up. Okay. Whoop. So now we're just gonna roll it back and forth. Get us a little hot spot here. All right. I'm bringing my wire. Oh. Just rolling it back and forth. All right, I'm going to let go and let you take over, okay? You keep going. I'm going to put the wire in there. I got the wire. You just keep practicing. Try not to stick the tungsten. Take. Try rolling it. Yep, roll it and pivot. Okay, just roll it and pivot. Nope, just keep rolling and pivoting. Alright, let's try again. Stop. Lift it up. There you go. Okay. Let's see what you did.
You were sliding.
Oh, yeah.
You wasn't rolling, you were sliding.
Mm-hmm. It's okay. Hey, I haven't met a single person that comes in here and does it on the first day. Not one, including myself. So don't worry about it. Let's try it.
So when you was rolling, you start sliding. So what you want to do is keep it away so it meets together.
Mm-hmm.
And then while you're rolling, it's meeting together. You're walking it up.
Let's try it again. Let's do it again. This time yep, you got it all. I'm going to just run the wire for you.
But don't slide. Just keep the contact and keep your arm rolling.
Mm-hmm. Set it up on there. Yep, slide it back a little bit down here. There you go. All right, I got this. All right, watch it. Lean it back a little bit. All right, there you go. Ready? All right, try to get it a little closer. There you go. Now roll it back and forth. Kind of get the feel of it. Oh, watch it. Don't stick it. Just roll it back and forth. There you go. Oh, just roll it. Just roll it back and forth. Just try rolling it. There you go. It's okay, just try rolling it. It's okay, buddy. Keep going, keep trying. All right. Woo. Yep. We gotta get some more practice time in. You were burning my fingers off. Yeah. No, it's fine, buddy. It's fine. It's not a problem. Yeah. So it's a lot harder than what it looks, right? Yeah. Yep. But you needed to roll it back and forth every time. Like he was saying, is that you skipping it ahead. You know, instead of rolling it, you're actually just moving it. Yeah, and it's Yep.
Keep the contact and roll.
Yep.
Just keep the contact. You ain't gotta force it, just roll it.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of I was slipping.
Right.
Put pressure in your hand.
Yeah. Well, you want to try again? Come on, let's do it one more time. Come on. I got another. No.
Let your hand relax.
Yeah, let's do this. Let's don't even worry about the wire right now, okay? Just get down here and in this little spot and just roll it back and forth. Just don't worry about anything else other than just rolling it back and forth. Roll it back and forth. All right, let's try it down over here. I'll strike you up and all that kind of stuff. Yep. Let's set it down like this, okay? All right, hold on. Here we go. Shields, watch your hoods. Here we go. Oh. All right, just try rolling it back and forth. Just roll it. There you go. Oh. Don't force it. Just take your time. Relax. Just roll it back and forth. There you go. Oh. Just roll it back and forth. Just roll it. There you go. Keep going. You're doing good. Nope, don't force it. You're doing good. Keep it going. You're doing good. You're starting to get the hang of it. Keep it going. Oh. You were doing it good right there for that last little part. That was going nice. Yeah, that wasn't bad at all. Yep. Yeah, you were doing it. Let's try it again. Let's do it. I like it. I like the attitude. Let's do it. Let's do it again. Yeah. Yep. So, yep. And try to set it down just like this. And at first, just learn to just roll it back and forth. This is all we want to do. Just like this. Just like that. Oh. Put the shields on. Yeah. Yep. Don't want to see the bluebird. All right. Let's try it again. All right. And just like I say, just roll it back and forth. This is all we want to do. Just like that. Just like that. Just like that. All right. I'm going to strike you up. Here, shields on. Here we go. All right. Just roll it back and forth. Oh, watch it. Yep. Just roll it. There you go. Watch it. Yep. Take your time, just roll it back and forth. You know what would work good? Is if I gave you a Tig Rig, and then what you could do is you could sit at the house with like a styrofoam cup. And on a styrofoam cup, it will actually show you your pattern. And while you're sitting there watching TV, you can practice on a styrofoam cup, rolling it back and forth, just rolling it back and forth. Because right now, that's what you need to work on, is just rolling it back and forth, back and forth. So, yeah, no, I understand. You're doing good. I'm not knocking any of it. Yeah. Right. And like I said, if we gave you a Tig Rig and you were able to sit at the house and practice it, I guarantee you'd pick it up in no time. You really will. But yeah, you did good for the first time ever doing this. Yeah. I mean, look at some ones underneath the pipe. I already rolled it around. There was some not so good ones down there. You know what I mean? So it's okay. You did good, man. Proud of you. Yeah, man. Yeah. So this is just one of the processes we run here. We have multiple processes that we teach here at this school. And this is just one of them. Like I say, you'll learn a whole bunch of them if you come through the program. Yep. And then I've got some other guys here who want to show you some other things that we do here at the school. We've got some other instructors. Yeah, man. All righty. Yep. Yep. Thank you all for coming by. Mm-hmm. Yep. He did all those, yeah. I held his hand on this one, and then that's all him.
Get it just a little bit more cleaner. And the cool thing with aluminum is it's self-cleaning. As you can see, the little white substance on the side of the there, that's from the arc actually cleaning the plate as we're going along. Now the tricky thing with aluminum is it gets really hot pretty fast, and all that heat, if we're moving in this direction, it slowly pushes that heat, and it's all going to bunch up right here. So you'll see whenever I get towards the end of the bead here, we're going to have to let off the foot pedal, and you'll see the arc get a little bit darker. Alright, so that's what we're going to be running here right now. Make sure everything's set up right. Alright. And when I hit the foot pedal, you'll hear the gas come on. Like right now it's not on, but you can hear it purge right there. Alright. So what's going to happen is I'm going to get my arc going. You're going to see the tendrils of the arc kind of moving around, cleaning that plate a little bit. Then I'm going to wait for a puddle to establish, and that's when we add in our filler wire, and then go from there. All right, here we go.
Good job. See the puddle jumping? Just adding a little wire.
Yeah, just a little dab at a time. Alright, so here's where I start burning off the puddle. There we have a nice solid weld there. And this is one of the cleanest types of weld.
And was that also rolling it like you were doing it?
Nope, all I'm doing, I'm just
You
using
just straight,
this little,
okay, you just drug it, okay.
it's just using this little guide bar here, and then all we're doing, every time we go to add in the wire, I'm just pausing a little bit, let them feed in. Dull gray color, that means it's too hot, or you're moving too slow. Now, what we would usually look for is a nice blue, silver, or gold color. Now, when it starts to turn like a rose gold color, then that's when we know we're moving just a little too slow. We need to pick up our travel speed and maybe turn down our amperage just a little. Alright, I'm going to run one more for you guys, okay? So the tricky part is just trying to maintain a steady hand. As you can see, it comes out nice and pretty. This is what we call the stacking dime look. It was like the stacked dime. All we're doing is controlling the foot pedal. So like if I was to give it like a lot of heat, what would happen? It would actually melt on the backside. But as you can see, I have not burned through, but I'll show you what it looks like if it does burn through. This is what it looks like whenever it's too hot. That's the look we get whenever it's too hot. Now chances are, I burned through the backside there. You see, that's what we don't like.
So what's this called?
This is high frequency aluminum. We also teach high frequency stainless as well. This is what you would learn in the last phase of the program, and what we call our capstone.
It still don't look that bad. You know what?
Yeah.
It's not what you want, but still don't look that bad.
Yeah.
The average Joe wouldn't know.
Yeah. If you've never seen welding before.
Yeah.
But usually some instructors, they like to do the aluminum first and then have the students swap over to stainless. I would personally have my students start with the stainless one first and swap over to the aluminum. But usually we try to give it 2 weeks to get off both of them. So 1 week for stainless, 1 week for aluminum. That way we have more time to bend on projects in the last phase. That will give us 3 weeks remaining to bend out of our bend out projects. When we do the bend out projects, to make sure, whenever they do leave here, whenever they go to apply for a weld test, they're able to pass a bend test, because no matter where you go, if you're applying for a welding job, you're more than likely going to have to take a weld test in order to get hired.
Okay.
And most of the time they do a destructive test, which is a bend test. It's called destructive because you're basically destroying the material. And we also have NDT, which is non-destructive testing. That would be considered like X-ray, ultrasonic testing, and dye penetrating testing. Those are the 3 main ones.
What do you do now? Just an instructor of it?
Yep. I've been here for about 1.5 years.
Where were you doing before?
I did a lot of shipyard work.
Okay. Here in Jacksonville?
Here in Jacksonville, all along the East Coast. Furthest north was Virginia, and I was up there for about a year. I really like that place, man. That shipyard was nice. They treated you like royalty up there. But welding is fun, and it's also very difficult. There's been times where I had to use a mirror in order to complete a weld, because these hoods are wide. You won't be able to stick your head back into a small spot in order to see where you have to weld. So you have to break out a mag-based mirror and look through the mirror in order to weld what you're trying to weld. So if you're an aspiring welder, that's a real good skill to practice. And we have mag-based mirrors here for the students who do want to practice. I'm a little rusty at it, but the only reason why they kept me around at the shipyard up in Virginia was because I was such a good mirror welder. I was a little bit younger then, and I showed up at work whenever I wanted to. But yeah.
Chasing a bag here.
Yeah. Well, back then, I have kids now, so I do. But I hope y'all enjoyed that. I hope it was interesting. Yeah, this is like nice and clean. The only thing you have to do with these, and you can bust through like a couple of these in an hour. The only thing you have to do with the aluminum is take a brush and brush it real fast. But the stainless, you just grab it and tack it well. All right.
Thank you, Jake.
All right.
Tig Welding?
Oh, don't touch it. Hot? Oh yeah, it's real hot. Don't touch it.
One on the back. You see the back.
Yeah, I ran that last bead there to show them what it looked like. What it looks like whenever it's too hot. And it actually busts through the plant.
Alex said that's how you always.
No.
I'm saying Alex, he drives you.
He wishes he could.
This is where I'll bring class over. Any instructor will bring their class over, and we have the ability to get as many people as we can to watch the instructor do a demo. Okay. We got GoPros we'll set up. We'll turn the TVs on and everything like that. So you can either watch your instructor weld, or you can watch a TV, or a combination of both. Okay, and then you can just see how the whole project's welded out. If you have questions, I always encourage us to ask questions. You know, if you think it's a stupid question, just ask. There's no such thing as a stupid question. Because 99% of the time, what you're thinking is what everybody else is thinking. Okay, so if you just ask it and you're like, oh man, that's a stupid question. I bet other people are like, thanks for asking the question, you know, like I don't know what to ask, okay? So always ask, okay? And there's a lot of times too, people ask me questions that I don't even know the answer to. I'm like, man, I don't know, I gotta think about that, okay? So always ask questions, okay? Get involved, get your face in here, and just see what this is about. So this right here is our horizontal T-plate, all right? This is the 4th project out of 6 in the first phase. Okay, so phase 1, the first 3 projects, we're just gonna do stringer beads on a flat plate. Okay, so we just hit a scrap plate and we just start pulling these beads, okay? Just like you saw Mr. Jack, Mr. Case doing, it's the same thing. This is just a different process. This is shielded metal arc welding or stick welding, okay? Those 2 are TIG welding, all right, or GTAW, all right, gas tungsten arc welding. So with shielded metal arc welding, we don't use a gas, we don't use that tungsten, we don't use a fancy torch or anything like that. We actually use these electrodes. All right, and these electrodes, these 2 right here in my left hand, are actually the same electrode. Okay, they both say 7018 on them. Okay, the only difference is the diameter. All right, so the 32nd is just a smaller electrode, so you just run it at lower amps. Okay, the reason we use a smaller one is maybe because you have a smaller plate, or maybe you have a tighter gap, or maybe you don't need to put down as much material. Okay, you can see this 1/8 inch rod is about the same width as the bead. The bead's a little bit wider, and that's what we're looking for. If we were to put this 332 on there, you'd see that's like twice the width of it, okay? So you wouldn't want to use a 332 in a fillet, right, that's this big, okay? But you use the 332 eventually, you know, when you get into the later phases. But first phase, we just used the 1/8 inch 7018. The other electrode is a 6010, okay? This is for your open root welds, all right? So all your groove welds and stuff like that. If you know anything about like pipeline welding, they do a lot of 6010 and 7018, or I'm sorry, 6010 and 8010, okay? And that's just a high penetration rod, okay? So you could actually have an open gap, and you could put this rod inside of it, and it will fill that open gap, okay? This particular project, we use a 7018 all the way out, okay? So the root, the fill, and the cap is 3 sequences. So 1 bead, 2 beads, and then 3 beads. So I'm gonna do 3 beads, because that'll be the last of the sequence. And then it'll look like something like this here on the back, all right? Just touch it, it's a little hot. All right, so that's the project welded all the way out. I like to see, yep. So you see 3 beads, but there's actually 6 beads on this plate.
Really?
Yep, there's 3 beads on this front plate already. So I did the first weld that just joined the 2 pieces of metal together. Then I did the 2 beads that covered that root weld. And now I'm gonna do the last 3 beads. So in my class, I like to see a minimum of 6 beads. Okay, maximum of 10. So if you got your last 3 and maybe they're a little low or maybe a little squirrely or something like that, just put 4 more beads over the top. Try and correct it.
Make it look good.
Yep, because all I'm looking for is that you got the same amount of material down here as up here, 50-50.
Gotcha.
All right, nice and straight. Nothing, no lag inclusions, no porosity. You know, you'll learn more about that when you come here and enroll. When you get this project down, you move to a vertical. So you go from bottom to top. Then we'll do overhead. Same T-plate though. You get good at that, then you come back and I'll have you do it with a 6010. And a 6010 is a high penetration rod, so you'll put that root weld in, that first weld, then you'll fill it up with 7018. It gives you a feel for how this 6010 works before you go, you know, to phase 3 and do it for the first time, and you're doing it in an open root, and it's kind of hard that way. All right. But with shielded metal arc welding, it's really, really cheap. All right. You'll find it everywhere, in buildings, any structural stuff, on cars, repairing trailers. pipeline welding, and they actually they use it underwater welding. That's all shielded metal arc welding. Yep, it's a special kind of electrode, and then the type of polarity that they use, they can use it underwater so like the diver doesn't get shocked, you know. But it's the same deal. You have this electrode holder where you clamp this little electrode in, and then you have your ground, and I have the ground clamped on right here. And all this is doing is completing the circuit, all right? So if I were to like touch this to there, it would actually arc out, it would start welding. Okay, but that's not good, we don't want to do that. We want to use the electrode so we can join metal together. Make sense? But unlike the gas tungsten arc welding, that TIG welding, this doesn't need any gas. All the gas is included on here. So I have a scrap rod right here, okay? You can see I burned this up. Yep, if I just bend it, that's all the gas, all right? We call that flux. It's like a rock material, all right? It's kind of hard, but that is our gas. So as we're welding, the puddle is heating up this flux and this electrode, and it's going from a solid to a liquid to a gas, and then back to a solid, and I'll show you that when I'm done, okay? And that's what makes stick welding really versatile, okay? Because you can do it inside, you can do it outside, you can do it upside down, inside out, on buildings, underwater, all that good stuff, okay? Let me get my hood on here. Like I said, we're just going to be doing the last 3 beads on this project, but you'll get a pretty good idea from it. All right, so this first pass I'm going to do, I'm just going to put it on this bottom bead right here. All right, that's considered our number 2 weld, okay, and then this top one's our number 3. So I'm putting down number 4, and I'm going to cover up all the number 2, and so you should only see. Yeah, it's an auto darkening helmet. So you'll see my bead I'm going to put in, and then this top bead right here. All I'm going to do is just drag it across. Okay? So put it up here in a 45 going down, and just scratch start it, and it'll lift off. Here we go. Watch your eyes. All right, you saw right at the end, I snapped it away, all right? It's called breaking the arc, all right? So you break the arc, you gotta break that circuit, all right? If you pull away slow, the machine's gonna try and keep the circuit complete, and it's gonna splatter everywhere. So you wanna break that arc quick, just snap the electrode away and break the arc. This dirty stuff on here, yep, that's what we call slag. This slag is that gas that's all used up, it's just depleted carbon. We don't need it anymore, so we'll just use our slag hammer and we'll just rake it off, all right? It is kind of hot, you know, so you don't want to whack at it because pieces could fly up and hit you in the face or go down your shirt or whatever.
So we're going to be walking the cup, and what that entails is we're literally, I'm not going to arc up, we're literally just walking it on the pipe like so. Kind of like, imagine like you're, you know, rolling a 50-gallon drum barrel across the floor, and it's a little heavy, so you got to rock it to wherever you need it to go. It's basically the same thing, just on a smaller scale. Just like so. As you can see, Jack was here welding a little bit earlier, and that's usually what it looks like. Now me and myself, I walk it a little bit wider than that. And we're going to be using what's called the scratch start. So I'm going to set it up here, and I'm going to run the filler wire right over to tungsten to create the arc. Then we're going to get the puddle nice and wet, and then that's when we add in our rod, okay? So here we go. Dang it, he turned off the gas on me. He turned off the gas. Let me go sharpen this real quick. I do apologize, guys. Turned it right off. I'm gonna have to beat him.
That's how you're going to clip it into your stinger. Now, however you have it clipped in, it's going to stay in like that. Okay, so I'll put this one in the 90, and I'm going to come up kind of high because I have to have like a 45-degree angle coming inward. All right, because we have gravity working against us. All right, gravity's coming straight down, but I need to go back and down. So I'm going to have to put it at a 90 and angle 45 in. Yep, exactly. All right, so here we go. Put this number 4 in real quick. Come in close so you can see my puddle. All right, you ready? Watch your eyes. All right, so you see the bright light, that's my arc.
Yeah.
But on the left side of it, you see like an orange puddle? That is my puddle. That is my weld. It's just a molten weld right now. I got to keep my eye on that little puddle so I can direct my weld where I need it. I've also got to watch my arc and make sure that my arc isn't too high or too low, because I got to make sure that I'm putting material down. I'm not just letting the material fly off and land wherever. All right, I got a lot of control over this electrode that I can't lose.
So like I said, you want to get your puddle going? We're keeping our rod right there in the middle. That way it spreads evenly.
Wow. Make it look easy.
Yeah, it's TIG welding.
The weave pattern that you got in there, that's the
So
standard of what you're looking for?
So this is the 5G position, which is actually one of my favorite positions to weld in. That just means that the pipe is in this position. Usually you would start at the bottom on one side, work your way all the way up, drop back down on the other side, and work your way up the other side. Now, albeit it's not the straightest weld because it's not inside of a bevel, so I don't have a guideline, so we got a little squirrely off to the left a little bit there.
But that would be normally here, right?
Right.
Okay.
If we had a bevel set up. So this is set up like a single bevel. They just took one end of a pipe and just tacked it right there. But yeah, and for the overlap, we would actually rest our wire right there, covering this previous weld by 50%. If you want to watch that real fast. And that's what we want, a 50% overlap. That way we don't have any lack of fusion. That way everything's tied in together. It's 100% fused.
That looks like a copper. Is it
It's copper coated, and it's also silicone coated. This is ER70S-6, and this is what we mainly use here for our carbon pipe. This is a carbon filler wire. We also run stainless 309. And we use the stainless 309 because that's the rod you need to weld to carbon. Now, if you were welding stainless to stainless, you would be using a 316 filler wire. But since we run carbon pipe here, if we're ever welding stainless, it's going to be 309.
It's got that color too. I mean,
Oh yeah.
the color on the end. That's why.
Now with the carbon, yes, there is some color. Sometimes it all depends on your heat and how fast you're moving as well. If you're moving a little slow, it'll be a dull gray color like what you see over here, things of that sort. I can actually grab a stainless wire so y'all can see the difference.
Stainless is pretty.
Yeah, so with stainless, you're gonna have to run it at a lower temperature. So with the stainless, we're gonna run it around 120 because you can't run it as hot as regular carbon. So I'm gonna run it out here.
Carbon, you run it hotter than stainless.
Yeah. All right. Gosh almighty. Did it again. I've been running aluminum. I'm used to having it onto a foot pedal. And it activates the gas automatically. Oh yeah. Rookie mistake number 2. All right, here we go. So when we're welding with stainless, it's the color that we're looking for. So the colors mean a lot of things. So you can see starting out, it's more of a bluish silver. And then as I'm coming up the side here, the heat that's already from the pipe is turning it a little bit of a gold color. So the colors we really want to see is like a bluish silver, but gold is acceptable too. Now, the hotter it gets, the gold is going to turn into like a rose gold color, like have a little red hue to it. And then if it's too hot, it starts to turn a dull gray color. So
you want to keep it consistent. The heat with the color?
Yep, that's what we look for with stainless. That's why whenever you guys start welding your stainless pipe, we ask that you don't brush the pipe. That way we can see the color. That way we can see how fast you're moving, or you know how much of a heat you have coming out of your TIG torch, things of that sort.
Cool.
So
I'm learning something new, just like a mini lesson here.
So if you guys want to follow me over there, I actually got some aluminum set up too. Y'all want to see some aluminum TIG? All right. So here we have some aluminum. This one might be all right. So with the aluminum, you always want to brush it with a wire brush before you start welding it, just to get any oxides off there. I've only cleaned one side, but that's usually what it looks like. It's still pretty clean coming out the factory, things of that sort. But with aluminum, this would mainly be used in fabrication, such as like aeronautical, or not aeronautical, but aerospace and things of that sort, automotive. This is a self-cleaning weld, and you'll see whenever I go to strike up the arc that you'll see the arc tendrils kind of cleaning the plate as we weld along. This one's a little bit different. Like I said, it's got a foot pedal. Got the machine cranked wide open because I'm going to use the pedal to control the temperature that's coming out. And we're running straight argon. Now, a lot of old timers call this heliarc because they used to use helium as a shielding gas. Now with helium, you're going to have to turn up your CFH a little bit higher than you normally would with argon. With argon, it creates more of a stable arc. It's easier to establish a puddle and start moving. So we're running it on alternating current, and it's a bit loud. It sounds a little crazy. It sounds like something, you know, got stuck in the toaster is going crazy. So, but all right. So that's the tendrils cleaning the plate there. And that's the end result there. It was a little hot at the start, but it's all good other than that. And then just like with the TIG weld over there, we're gonna overlap it 50%, but this is what we call the stacked dime look. This is what we're really looking for.
Now you'll overlap it on both sides.
Yep. Well, not both sides. Usually whenever you're overlapping, you're making a progress in one direction. So I'm gonna weld just to the, I guess, this side of the weld.
Strange question, but why did you just tap it?
So this is a filler wire. So if we were just to run it over, it wouldn't look as nice and uniform as it does. So you just slightly bring it out of your cover zone and right back in.
Okay.
And that's what gives it that nice stacked look. And so the future students would actually run about maybe 5 or 6 beads across the plate. Now you notice I didn't start too close to the edge, because if I started too close to the edge, that heat would have nowhere to go. It would kind of just fall out on the side. So usually I have them start about a 1/4 inch from the sides and just run me about 5 or 6 of them in the middle. So
the heat really has a play in.
Oh, so let me.
In how you're stacking these too, right?
Yep.
You gotta keep that in mind.
And so also what we look for, we don't want no bleed through on the back side. As you can still see, there's a little spot right there from that one bead, but we don't want nothing to be shown on the back side. If there's any penetration on the back side, that means you were too hot on this side. So I'm gonna run a little fast hot one just so you can see the idea of what not to do.
What not to do. What not to do.
So as you can see, it still doesn't look bad, but once I flip it over, you'll see we actually penetrated through to the backside. Right there, that one spot, I actually outdid myself. I was actually trying to punch through just a little bit more, but that one spot right there is what we don't want.
Now, you tell how hot you are by color, but can you also, there was quite a difference in the sound of.
Yes, it sounded more intense and more violent.
It was faster.
So with the higher heat, I was using a faster travel speed. But if I was to use the same heat and go the same speed as I was with the first two, you'll see it's a total night and day difference. See how the puddle is way more spread out?
It's bigger.
Oh yeah. And so the backside, as you can see, we definitely punched through. That's what we don't want. Yeah, not at all.
This might be understandable, but that wouldn't be.
Right.
Okay.
So if it's like a little small spot, I mean, we kind of let it slide, you know, because you just get better with more practice. And that's really all it is practice, practice, practice. Even if you get super frustrated, you know, take like 5 minutes, go cool off, because learning new things can be frustrating and it does take time. It all depends on the amount of time you have behind your hood, how good you get.
Very good. Thank you, Case.
All righty.
You did great.
I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope it was awesome. I hope I wasn't making y'all fall asleep over there.
I like the fact you showed us a mistake and what a mistake looks like.
Yep.
You know, that's cool.
There's plenty of ways to do it right, and there's plenty of ways to do it wrong. So.
And this bar right here is to help you with your.
Yes, that's it. Yep, that's the guide. Now, like fabrication, normally you're making something big, so you always have something to rest your hand on. So.
Now, how quickly will that cool off?
It takes a minute. It takes a minute to cool off.
I know.
Yeah. It's like no, don't touch it. So the aluminum, it takes no time at all to get super hot, but it takes a good minute to cool down. So, like even if I was to.
Thank you.
Uh huh.
All right.
That's hot. I hope y'all enjoyed that. Uh huh.
Okay, so I don't have to bring my arm up so high to achieve the angle that I need. All right, ABCs of welding, always be comfortable, okay? So having it in this angle like this just makes it more comfortable for me when I'm welding. All right, so here we go. We're gonna do the second pass. Watch your eyes. All right, there goes our second pass right there. You can see that slag's already starting to just pop off. Okay, that's a good thing. The slag is releasing itself, okay? So again, just let it cool a little bit and then just lightly rake it. All right, that slag should just be popping and flying right off, all right? No problem. Okay. If you have some excess sparks on there, just take the blade edge of your slag hammer and just knock off those little sparks, okay? If it gets real bad, you might want to use your grinder to get it out of there, but we're good for now. We'll just take our brush, lightly brush all that dust off of there. So that dust actually serves a purpose. That dust actually protects the previous weld and coats it in this heavy dust so that when sparks hit it, they grab that dust and ball up and snowball off of there, okay? They don't get stuck to your weld and give you defects, okay? If you take a closer look, you can still see the first pass underneath my root pass, okay, right up here. All right, you can see the top little bit of my first pass. All right, and only covered it up by a little bit with my second pass. So when I do my third pass, I'm gonna put it right there in that crack. All right, we call that crack a valley. All right, you just gotta fill up the valley. Just go nice and slow and let the material dump its way in. Hey, y'all can just jump in on the tail end of this and I'll restart my demo after I finish this beat, okay? So just, you can come, get nice and close and just watch me weld this last one. All right, so this process that I'm doing is shielded metal arc welding. I'll go over that a little bit here in a little while, but it's basically a real simple way to achieve a fillet weld. I'm doing a horizontal fillet weld and gonna do the third pass on here. So here we go, watch your eyes. All right, and there we go. The third weld is complete, which means half of our project is done. Okay, for those of you who just came up, this is a slag that's on top of our weld. We just want to let that cool for a second before we bust it off of there, because that slag is kind of hot. We don't want it to pop up and hit us. Okay. Sometimes the slag's a little more stubborn in some areas, and that's fine. Just apply a little more pressure, and if you have to, just kind of give it a couple of little taps, okay? But you don't want to be whacking at this thing and damaging your weld, okay? For those of you that just walked up, you can come on up and take a look at this weld right here. All right. This will complete 50% of our weld, okay? If you look on the back end here, you'll see it's not welded, all right? The plate is just butted up with each other, okay? And when we do these fillet welds, this is how we start with them, okay? We'll have a completely open side where just the metal is touching and there's no weld, okay? We'll just have it tacked on the side and we'll have it all prepped up. We'll put the first weld right in that crack, all right? And then the second 2 welds are these 2 that I did on the front here, okay? What we're trying to achieve is 50% on each plate. So it's just as much metal down below as we have up on the other plate, okay? So this is half of our weld, this is 3 beads. At this time, you would typically break this off of your little stand or your table, and you go put it in the quench tank and get that heat off of there, okay? Because I'm sure most of you felt that as you walked up, right? The plate's pretty hot. You want to get that heat off there, all right? That thermal heat is going to start damaging your project, okay? What we call undercut, all right? That's removing an unwanted amount of material. So as you're welding, you're putting down material, but if your base metal is too hot, you'll be removing your base metal, and that's what we call undercut, okay? So we put it in the quench tank, we can relieve ourselves of undercut sometimes, most of the time. The other thing is, when you're about to tack this back up, you can go ahead and look down the center of this fillet and notice that you're in the center of the joint, okay? Some of you might be a little too low or a little too high, all right? And now this is your time to observe that so that when you put your last 3 passes on there, you can counter it, right? You can overcorrect or compensate, however. You need to manipulate that electrode in there so that you can make a good coverage, okay? All right, so the process that we're going to use, sorry if this is a little redundant for you guys, is shielded metal arc welding. All right, so using these electrodes is how we achieve shielded metal arc welding, all right, or SMAW, stick welding. All right, these 2 in my hand are the same electrode, all right? These are 7018, okay? One smaller than the other. We have a 332 and a 1/8 electrode. The only difference is the diameter, all right? They still weld all the same. So the numbers do mean something. The 7018, the first 2 numbers, 70, that's the tensile strength of these electrodes. So 70,000 pounds per square inch, okay? The 1 is the position. It's an all-position electrode. And the 8 would be the classification of the flux, so low hydrogen, right, high iron powder. This electrode here is a 6010, all right? This is a high penetration electrode. The tensile strength is a little lower, right, 60,000 pounds per square inch. The 1 is still the same, so it's an all-position electrode. And the 0 is classified as a potassium rod, okay? That's what makes this thing burn hotter and make it an actual high penetration electrode. This rod you'll use in your 3rd phase, so your 3rd month here, okay, in structural welding. So I teach the 1st phase and I teach the 3rd phase. Okay, so you do stick welding for your 1st phase, then you go into MIG welding or GMAW, and then you come back to stick welding and you learn how to run a 6010 and 7018, okay? So in phase 101, we'll be doing T-plates and stringer plates. So your first 3 projects are all stringer plates, all right? So you just get a scrap piece of metal and you'll just be pulling beads, all right, just like this, but on a flat piece of metal, okay? Learn how this electrode burns, learn how fast you need to move, how close you need to be to the material, stuff like that. What amperage you need to be set at. All that plays a part into making a good weld. When we get good at running a flat weld, we'll go into a horizontal weld and then a vertical. And all that's doing is teaching you how to manipulate gravity as you weld, okay? Because gravity is always on, and we have heat that plays a part into our weld. We do our first 3 stringer bead plates. We'll move into T-plates. This is the 4th project. This is a horizontal T-plate. All right, I like to see 6 beads at a minimum, 10 beads at a maximum, okay? So we have 3 beads on the front. Remember we talked about the back, all right? So we'll put that first root weld in, and then the 2 cover, and then 3 bead cap, all right? So I'm just gonna go ahead and do the 3 bead cap, all right? What we're trying to do is to get 3 beads in the center. So my 4th bead should be down here on the bottom plate, my 5th bead should be right here in the center, and my 6th bead should be up top, okay? Now, how do I use that? Well, I use my electrode holder or my stinger, right? So the stinger is just like a jumper cable of a car. All right, put it in, you got a 90 degree, you can put your electrode in. You have a 45 up and you have a 45 down, okay? All this does is it helps you get the right angle of your electrode as you're welding, okay? Because the ABCs of welding, always be comfortable, all right? You don't just want to clip it in and then twist your body around to get the electrode in the right spot. Just clip it in a different spot, okay? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put it in a 45 going down, And I'm going to put this first pass, or this fourth pass rather, right on top of that number 2 bead, or that bottom bead, okay? I'm going to completely cover it up, and I'm not going to cover any of that number 3 bead, or that top bead, okay? And that's going to make me balance this project, okay? So y'all can bring it in nice and close. I'm going to start welding. I want you to be able to see the puddle, okay? Because the puddle is your molten metal. It's going to be your weld, okay? All I'm going to do is just drag this thing right across the plate, all right? Here we go. Watch your eyes. All right, so we get this thing started just like a match. And then we feed the electrode down into the weld. And if you look to my left, you can see like a little orange ball. All right, that's your puddle. Your puddle is actually your molten weld. That puddle is going to be your weld when you're done. As long as you watch that puddle and put that puddle where you want it, that's what your weld's going to look like. And that bright spot, that's my arc. So the only thing you're looking at with your arc is to see how high off the plate you are. All right, you want to be anywhere from a 1/16 to an 1/8 off the plate. When we come to the end of the plate, we always snap our wrists and break that arc. All right, break that arc, because we have a circuit that's being completed, right? So if we pull off slow, the machine's going to struggle to try and keep that circuit complete, all right? You're going to have like a lightning bolt coming out. That's not good. So when you come to the end, remember, just snap your wrists in whatever direction, it doesn't matter, but it helps break that arc so you don't have any unwanted material being deposited, okay? So I started with this electrode, and this is what I have left. So you can see I burned up about like 2/3 of it or so, okay? All that went down onto my plate, all right? So if you have some about halfway or more, you can reuse these electrodes. You could save these and use them as little tack rods to tack your plates up and stuff like that. All right, I'm just toss that one out here. We'll grab my slag hammer, and I'm just gonna rake this slag off nice and easy, okay? Remember, your slag is your gas that's been used up, okay? So on these electrodes, here's a burned up one. If I bend this electrode, you can see all that flux come off, right? All that flux is gas, okay? That flux is that slag. It just got burned up. So as you're welding, that flux burns off, it falls into your puddle, goes from a solid to a liquid to a gas, and then back to a solid. Well, when it's in its solid state like this, we don't need it anymore. It actually can hurt your next weld, right? Because it's depleted carbon. It doesn't have any more gas in it. So we got to make sure we get all that slag off. So we chip it really good, we brush it up really good. All that dust and stuff too, that helps protect your other welds. It's kind of like a lubricant, right? So sparks and stuff, they fly off your weld, they hit that dust, snowball and fall off rather than stick to your weld and then cause a defect, okay? So we'll brush this up, and you can see that I put that number 4 pass in there. I covered up number 2 like I said, and then we got that number 3 pass showing, all right? So I'm gonna put my number 5 pass in here. That's gonna go right on top of number 4. All right, that should be the center of my fillet. All right, number 6 will go up top. And when I'm done, I should have 3 distinct beads, nice and even, nice and symmetrical, equally spaced between the bottom and the top plate. So for this one, I'll put this one in my 90 degree, okay? Because I need to angle into a 45 degree into the center of that fillet. So putting it in a 45 down or a 45 up might not be the best case, at least for me. So I put it at that 90, and we'll be good to go. All right, watch your eyes. Don't go nice and slow. You want to let this electrode do work for you. Just let it feed itself. Only move as fast as it's burning. If you try and force it, you're not going to get the coverage that you need. So just hover this electrode over, drag it along the weld, let it burn up and fall in exactly where you want it. Alright, so there's that number 5 bead. Again, let that slag set for just a minute, and we'll just rake the top toe line. It should all fall off. All right. If you got some stubborn slag like back here at the end of the weld, just lightly tap it. All right. Don't want to whack at it because you might damage that weld. You know, putting those little ping marks in there, those little ripples, that's actually damaging the weld. You don't want to do that. Okay. All right. We got some sparks down here. You can knock those off. And we'll just lightly brush this. And again, don't go too crazy with brushing. You don't want to spread all this metallic dust and everything everywhere. You don't want it to fly in your eye or at your friend or whatever. So start off nice and light and get the bulk of it off, and then you can scrub a little more vigorously. Okay, but just nice and easy pressure back and forth. All right. We got nice beads going on. All right, last pass, number 6. Coming up top here, all right? I got to put it on the top of this number 5 pass. Okay, but I really got to make sure that my angle is angled upward a little bit more, because gravity can do the work for me and pull it down. Okay, if I come in downward like this, I'm just feeding into gravity, and gravity's going to take that weld and it's going to splash over all my good work that I just did. Okay, so you got to remember to change your angle. Okay, angle is key when you're doing shielded metal arc welding. Okay, so put this in the 45 going up, and I actually like to hold my electrode like a pool cue. Okay, but it does get hot. You know, so don't like hang on to this thing because it's going to burn you up. All right, just lightly let it rest in your fingers. That way if it starts burning, you can just move your fingers or move your hand away. Okay, but what I do is as I'm welding, I just kind of slide my hand down, and I'm staying away from the heat the whole time. So if it gets a little too hot for me, I just slide down a little bit more. Okay, and eventually I might just grab onto this stinger, or I'll just drop my hand. Okay, so I'm pushing back this top plate up here. I'm going to put the number 6 pass in. Okay, here we go. Watch your eyes. All right, and when we get to the end, we always break that arc nice and quick. Get that circuit to close. And we'll raise the top toe line of this slag. All right. Got some stubborn slag there. Sometimes if you let it cool for another minute or two. Okay. Clean it all up, looking pretty good. All right, grab a brush. Get all that metallic stuff out of there, clean it up. All right, and this will be our horizontal T-plate, our 4th project in phase 1. All right, this is the minimum requirement that we're looking at. At this point, when you put all 6 beads in, I mean, at any time really you can come up and ask me questions, but when you put your 6 beads in and you're done with your project, that's when you're gonna come up and get critiqued, and we're gonna talk about your weld. We're gonna look at the good spots, we're gonna look at the bad spots. We're going to look at, hey, what did you do here? Because it looks really good. Keep doing that. We're going to, hey, what happened here? Because that doesn't look so great. Okay. We're going to look at some things that might be a defect in your weld, but we might be able to repair it. Okay. So we might be able to grind something down. We might be able to like chip out some extra slag if we have it there. Maybe our beads are kind of separating just a little bit. Okay. And that's when I'll have you just go put 4 more beads over the top, just so I can see that you can put equal amount of metal in this fillet. Okay. Once we get a good grade on this project, then we'll go into vertical. So from bottom to top, going straight up the T-plate, and then into overhead. All right, that's the last project, and you weld that straight over your head. Okay, and then you go into the next phase. All right, y'all got any questions? Any questions at all? What's up?
Why do you do so many passes?
So we want to see at least 6 passes, because that brings the weld out far enough that we can see that you know how to balance it. If you put 1 pass in here, it's pretty easy to join the 2 pieces of metal, right? Because it's just 1 pass. You put 2, gets a little more difficult, right? But you do 3, now you have to start thinking, how far out is number 4 going? How far up is number 5 going? Where do I put number 6? So we can see that you can balance all the welds. The other thing too is when you have something as wide as this, about 2 inches on the side, you're going to want to weld at least half of that fillet, like out in the field. If you're welding like I-beams together or any structural stuff like that, you're going to want to fill up at least half of what that material is that you're welding. You know what I mean?
When I was welding at home, my grandfather, what we did was something more like the
Yep, Tig.
where we would do figure 8
Yep.
all the way down instead of just allowing it to run through.
Yep.
Is that a bad way of welding?
Nope, that's a totally different way to weld, and you'll learn how to do it. We call that weave welding. Yep, and you'll learn how to do that. You won't do that on these T-plates, but when you get into phase 110, the third phase, the one that I was telling you, the other class that I teach, weave weld. I'll show you, actually, we got a demo right here of it. So this is just like a replica of our demo tree. And we built this so that you don't have to walk all the way up front to see the references, right? So we have our first step right here. This is our open root, okay? So that's how you prep it up. That's the vertical. This is horizontal, so don't look at that one. So you'll prep it up just like this, put your tacks in, grind your land, you'll have a nice 1/8 inch gap, okay? Then you put your root in. If you look at the back here, you can actually see that the root weld has come through, okay? But you actually weld it on the front side. Okay, and that's what that 60-10 rod that I was talking about. Okay, and then that weave weld that you were talking about, you could see it right here on this front part. I like to refer to it as like a fat finger. Okay, because a lot of times people walk that electrode too far out, and you actually do start getting that figure 8, and that's too wide for this project. All right, we want it to kind of roll like a fat finger. A lot of times when you see like a figure 8, it'll be for your fill underneath. So if you see up here where it's just flush with the material, that's your fill. So if you have more of a figure 8 going on there, that's fine too. Yep. But for these particular projects, we like to see it roll like that. Yep.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Hope to see y'all here soon. Have a great day.
Born and raised in Idaho. I lived there until I was about 17, and then I ran away to Seattle on I graduated high school early. I was just working like a dead-end job, really. I mean, I was just serving at a restaurant, you know, going out to bars a little too often. And my dad had called me and asked, he said, well, what are your plans and what are you gonna do? And I laughed at him, and I'm like, I don't know, Dad. I don't know what I want to do. I'm gonna do something though. And he's like, well, why don't you go to welding school? I laughed. No, I didn't know even what welding was. He said, well, just think about it. And I thought about it for probably a year or so. And I ended up, plans changed, and I moved to Florida. It just so happened I was in the right place at the right time in Jacksonville, and Googled Tulsa and seen commercials and had great reviews. And I called a recruiter and went in for an interview and signed up that day. When I first signed into school, I think there's probably 300 to 500 students in the entire shop, but out of 300 guys, there's 5 girls. Everybody wants to see what you're doing, everybody wants to see how you're doing, and I hung a sign with MIG wire from one end of my booth to the other end of the booth, and it said, do not disturb. I've always been a hands-on person. I feel like I'm a hands-on learner, and so the hands-on is what helped me through school. And there was a little bit of classroom time with homework and stuff, but the hands-on, I knew it was only 4 days of hands-on, 1 day of classroom, because I could not sit in a classroom for 5 days a week. My favorite experience about Tulsa Welding School was when we started learning how to use a torch. Welding was fun, but using a torch and playing with fire was even funner. Learning how to cut different angles and even to be able to see how the molten metal builds up. I mean, it was just really cool. So that's probably my favorite. I always wanted to be the best, and I always had to work harder to be the best. Learn different positions. I mean, you're always going to do a different position weld, and that's another thing from going from school is at school they would put me in a box and have to practice with a mirror, and I thought these instructors were crazy, and they're like, you're going to want to learn this. Sure enough, the first couple jobs I was on, I was up in an aerial lift, and they said, Kayla, can you go make that weld? and it was like up against a wall. I mean, I'd been so used to fitting pipe with like the same gap every time. On top had like an 1/8 inch gap, and on the bottom was like a 1/4 inch. Can you just close that up? I mean, I had to learn. But even when I go on different jobs, every job is so different. And so I'm continuously learning. I remember the first time I walked on the job site too. I was holding a welding hood, and I had gone up to my boss. They said this is my foreman, and this is who I needed to talk to. And I said, hey, where do I need to sign in, or what do I do? And he said, oh, where the fire watches are over there. And I was like, I'm not a fire watch. And he's like, oh, well, the hole watches are over there. I was like, he's like, are you our new tool room lady? I'm like, no, I'm a welder. Like, I have a welding hood. So I am grateful for the income I've been able to provide for my family. When I first got out of school, I was wild with my money because I was, fresh out of school making so much money I didn't know what to do. I made $30 an hour, and it was like $140 per diem. And we were working 7/12. So that first paycheck was like $3,400. And I was like, whew, what do I do with all this? And I put some away, I bought some furniture, and I went on vacation. I went down to the Keys. I eventually settled down and started investing my money and saving my money, and it's really paid off. I own my own home. I have my own vehicles. I have my own camper, my four-wheelers, my toys, my hunting clubs. I mean, I travel 4 months out of the year for archery. I mean, who can afford to travel that often? I'm very grateful for me and my husband to have really great careers, because I am able to be a co-breadwinner in our family, and so we are able to live in a lifestyle outside of most people's budget, and I'm grateful for it. Like, my career goes with me wherever I want to go. I can get a job anywhere, but my career follows me. I kind of work for myself kind of thing. Like, I can always find a job, I can always make money, and if I want to work 8 months out of the year, then I can work 8 months out of the year. If I want to work 12 months out of the year and less hours, then I can do that too. I mean, it's just really has been great for me to be more flexible, especially because I love my career, but my family's more important to me. I like to go to work and work hard, but I like to leave work at work and come home and function outside of work, and I'm able to do that. And I just don't feel like I would have gotten or lived the lifestyle that I did without Tulsa Welding School. I would have never gotten into this industry. I would have never had the tools that I needed to succeed, and I'm just so grateful. Women can do it, and we're better at it, and I just would encourage any female, if you even are interested, to just jump in. If I can do it, you can do it too. And you'll enjoy it. And why not do something that you love? I mean, I think that's so important. If you are doing something that you love, then how can you consider it work? I have to thank my dad for even giving me the idea of welding, introducing me to the welding. I have to thank Tulsa Welding School for teaching me what welding was and how to do it and the tools to succeed in my career. And now I have a great family and a career, and I'm just so grateful. My name's Kayla Johnson, and I'm proud.
Good morning. Welcome to our Tulsa Welding School Open House event. I hope you're enjoying everything you've seen thus far. Now let me tell you a little bit about Tulsa Welding School, Jacksonville. So why should you choose Tulsa Welding School of Jacksonville? Well, number one, we have been doing this training a very long time, since 1949. We offer legendary focused training and curriculum built on industry demand. You're going to learn the skills that's needed to make you marketable to the actual industry. We are the largest welding school in the country. You're going to learn a diversity of different welding skill sets, MIG, TIG, flux core, etc. The training is short. You can complete your training in as little as 7 months. Over 66,000 square foot classroom, lab, and support service area. Huge shop out there. The school is accredited through ACCSC, which stands for the Accrediting Commission of Career Schools and Colleges. And our vision is to be recognized as the highest quality provider of career education, resulting in an outstanding return on investment for our students. All right, so some of those departments that we have here to support you during this journey, during this process. One department is called Student Services. What they offer is in-school advising and assistance. That covers a wide range of things from ride share, assistance with finding jobs, roommates, housing assistance. They're here to help you complete this goal. Transcripts and grades, attendance tracking and monitoring, and instructors that care. We care about your success. We want you to have a successful future. Another department here that's vital at the school is the Career Services Department. They do a number of things to assist to make sure that at the end of this journey, you're able to transition into the workforce. Resume building and enhancement. That's a scary subject for a lot of people. So you have the support and someone here to help you format your resume so that you're able to get employed. Interview training, so you know what to expect during that process. Full-time career assistance, part-time job assistance. Our current graduate employment rate is 84%. You're going to also meet with the personal career service advisor that partners with you to discuss all upcoming job opportunities. Another very vital department is financial services or financial aid. They help you apply for financial aid, including Pell Grants and Stafford loans to see what you may be eligible for. Jacksonville also has additional options to help make your education affordable. We also have low monthly investments in your future where you can make low monthly payments if that's necessary. Multiple scholarships available for those who qualify, and we create a personalized plan for you based on what you qualify for. Another vital department is the education department. These are our instructors. These are the guys and gals that's going to be teaching you your welding skill set. So when you combine their years of experience and work out there in the field, our instructors have over 365 years of combined experience. Our average student-to-teacher ratio is about 30-1. Tutoring is available at no additional charge, and graduates can refresh their training in any previously completed course as long as you're in good standing. That's an amazing resource for life. Come back and get the help that you need. We've trained over 5,500 graduates in the welding industry since 2001. This is a hands-on learning environment. Welding is a hands-on trade. So we have a theory called crawl, walk, run theory of training. We tell you how to do it, we show you how to do it, and then you're able to hands-on complete this task, weld, and do it over and over and over again while your instructors help and critique you until you get it right. 5 hours a day, that's how long your classes are. 4 days you're in the shop, 1 day of lecture. The programs we offer. The professional welding program is 7 months long. The average income based on the Bureau of Labor Statistics in the Jacksonville area, roughly about $42,030. The hourly breaks out to about $20.21 per hour. That's based on the Bureau of Labor Statistics for the Jacksonville area. The graduates acquire many skills and can branch off into various career and employment opportunities. So this coursework includes the introduction to welding. You're going to learn pipe welding and have many different career preparation skill sets. A lot of different career opportunities as well. Pipeline welding, structural welding, and thin alloy welding. Once we're done with this presentation and you go out there in the shop area, you're going to be able to sit down with a admissions rep that'll go over the details, tuition, and exactly what's included with the tuition of the course. So the total tuition is $20,983. That breaks out with the tuition portion being $17,857. The registration fee is $50. The lab fees are $1,818. Course materials and textbooks, $246. The gear package is $760. Accident insurance, $252. We also have a program called pipe fitting that is an add-on course. So if the welding and the pipe fitting combined, the total tuition is $24,036, which includes everything I mentioned before. If you're in the military, we also have special military tuition pricing for people that are eligible for that, where we also offer a discounted tuition because of your service to our country. Thank you for your service. So what will you need? We keep it simple here at Tulsa. Are you going to need to bring to school or jeans or work pants, boots, and your eyeglasses? Rolling tool chest is optional because your service does come with a lot of tools and equipment. Things that's included with the tuition is your accident insurance, your books, your grinder, your lab fees, your leather gloves, your jacket, your hood, hat, safety equipment, and your materials. That comes with the tuition. You don't have to buy any of those things. Graduation and beyond, that's the fun time. You've now completed your training, graduation ceremony, and now it's time to start working in welding. Who will be at your ceremony? Who's going to be proud of you? Who's going to see you go across that stage? Another resource we offer is lifetime graduate employment assistance. You'll be a lifetime alumni of this Jacksonville campus, and you can always come back and refresh your courses. If you have any questions, we have a team of people on standby for you right now. So if you have any questions or concerns about financial aid, about the job employment assistance, program specifics, and we'll set you up to get the tour. Thank you all so much for your attention, and I hope you enjoyed learning more about Tulsa Welding School.